I'm on vacation.
Hey, Tracy. All right, I'm trying another streaming one. Hopefully this goes a little bit better. Oh, I'll get rid of that. What up, Tracy? Hi there, folks. My name is Jim, and welcome to my live stream. And I used to be a type 2 diabetic. And I say that I used to be a type 2 diabetic very, very intentionally. I've reversed it. I'm in remission from it. I don't take medications for it anymore. However you want to word it, I don't have it anymore. And I love to do these live streams and tell people exactly what it is that I do to achieve that. So if that is something that sounds interesting to you, then stick around for this live stream and I tell you exactly what I do. More than that, if that's something that you think that somebody that you know or love could benefit from, then share this information with them and share this live stream with them. And let's get them healthy as well. Now, again, I'm trying to go live on multiple platforms right now, and I'm using some software that I've not had the best of luck with. So those of you that know me, like Tracy, if you see me just completely stop responding to the messages, would you maybe shoot me a text and let me know that, hey, it doesn't look like it's working? Okay, let me reintroduce myself to the people that are coming into the live stream right now. My name is Jim. Hey, Blenda. Blenda on YouTube. Love it. Hey, Blenda. Hi there, folks. My name is Jim, and I used to be a type 2 diabetic. And I say that I used to be a type 2 diabetic very, very, very intentionally. I have reversed my type 2 diabetes. I'm in remission from my type 2 diabetes. I don't take medication for my type 2 diabetes anymore. That's because my doctor said that I don't have to take it anymore. So however you want to word it, however you want to slice and dice it, I don't have type 2 diabetes anymore. I used to be a 12.2% A1C. I am now a completely unmedicated 5.1% A1C. I wear a continuous glucose monitor. I am regularly in the 90s and low 100s, and I love being there. So if that is something that sounds interesting to you, if that's something that sounds like you would like to be able to achieve yourself, then stick around for this live stream, and I'm going to tell you everything that I do to achieve that. So there we go. Let me do another round of introductions. It appears, Tracy, can you hear me well? Can everybody hear me okay? I'm curious. It seems like I'm kind of stuck on a head count here. We're at 7, and normally I'm at like 100 by now. So I don't know if the new system is working well or not. But for those that are just now joining, let me do a quick round of introductions for you. Welcome to my live stream. My name is Jim, and I used to be a type 2 diabetic. And I used to be a type 2 diabetic. Awesome, Donald. Thank you. Tracy, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and turn my phone off. It seems to be messing with me a little bit. So I'm now flying blind. Tracy, if it looks like I quit answering the texts or the messages, would you text me? And I can see Don. I can see Blenda over on, let's see. There is Blenda from YouTube. Here is Don from TikTok. We are live across multiple platforms. This is really exciting. Okay. My name is Jim, and I used to be a type 2 diabetic. And I say that I used to be a type 2 diabetic very, very, very intentionally. I have reversed my type 2 diabetes. I'm in remission from my type 2 diabetes. I don't take medications anymore for my type 2 diabetes. That's because my doctor told me that I didn't have to because she doesn't think I have it anymore. However you want to word it, folks, I don't have type 2 diabetes, and I love to do these live streams and tell people exactly what it is that I do every single day to achieve that remission. So if that is interesting to you, if that's something that you would love to say yourself, I would love to not be diabetic, then stick around for this live stream, and hopefully this information is able to be of help to you. I was able to help more than 50 people last year reverse their type 2 diabetes. In fact, our wife right here, her comment is now in the comment section. Her name is Tracy, and her husband was a type 2 diabetic for a long time on insulin therapy. He came across my live stream. He decided to start doing what I'm talking about, and voila, he's off of his insulin and having amazing results. And Vicky saying, you helped me 100%. I love that, Vicky. Mickey, looks like Mickey is over on Twitch. I love it, guys. It looks like we're working. Okay, so let me jump right into this. Let's see, Blenda over on YouTube. Me too. Thanks, Jim, for allowing me to know about this protocol. I love it. That's over on YouTube. That's Blenda. Blenda is a professional truck driver. She is on the road 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Long haul truck driver. And if she can lose weight and control her diabetes while sitting in a cab all day long, then so can you. Blenda is incredibly inspirational. I love hearing that. And say hi to Kendra for me, Blenda. Okay, so what did I do to achieve that type 2 diabetes remission? Well, the very first thing I did was started focusing on the root cause. And the root cause of the type 2 diabetes is this very image behind me, insulin resistance, okay? And you can't really see it, but up in the upper left corner is type 2 diabetes, okay? So this image right here came from a Dr. Ben Bickman. Dr. Ben Bickman is one of the world's leading metabolic scientists. He understands the way, technically, he is a professor of cell biology and physiology at BYU. He's been published more than 30 times on the topic of insulin resistance. One of the side effects of insulin resistance is type 2 diabetes. So if we want to get rid of type 2 diabetes, let's start by becoming insulin sensitive. That is achievable. Very, 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 very achievable. Just resensitize your cells to the insulin, right? And it sounds so easy, and trust me, it is. So what is insulin resistance? Let's start with what is insulin. And of course, if you're like me, before I ever became a diabetic, insulin was just, well, that's what the diabetics use, right? I didn't know anything about it. Yeah. Let's see. Fire it up. I love this. A1C dropped 10.7 to 6.3, lost 40 pounds, 21 inches. This is amazing. Jim is a rock star. Thanks, Tony. I love that. Let me go through some of these because I love these. We had our lab draw on Friday, ready to see the results. I'm ready to see as well. Okay, so when I was not diabetic, when I was just walking through life, right? To me, I saw insulin as something that diabetics used. I didn't know that our bodies actually produced it. I was very naive to that, okay? What is insulin? Let's understand it first. When you consume a carbohydrate, something like a slice of bread or any food really, but let's pick on carbohydrates, our body converts that carbohydrate to glucose, and the glucose goes out to our bloodstream, and that is what our cells use for energy. Now, building on that, let's see, I got something. Welcome to DLive. If you need help or want, okay, DLive is sending me a message. I am live on DLive, it looks like. So our glucose goes out to our bloodstream, and that's what our cells use for energy. The cells, they don't just gobble up the glucose. It's not like the glucose just goes into the cell magically. The cell is locked. It won't take in the glucose. It needs a key, and that is insulin's role. So our pancreas secretes a hormone called insulin, and one of the jobs, and I say one of the jobs, insulin is one of the most active hormones in the body. One of its many jobs is to unlock the cell. It kind of acts like a gatekeeper or a key to the cell. It unlocks the cell for the glucose to go in. Now, when the cell stops responding to the insulin, that's insulin resistance. And what happens next? Well, the glucose doesn't go where it's supposed to go. And so we end up with elevated glucose. That's the problem. That's type 2 diabetes, right? Or is it? Right, so we end up with elevated glucose. Well, what tells the pancreas to secrete insulin is glucose in the bloodstream, blood sugar. And so the pancreas secretes more insulin. And so as we are becoming progressively more and more and more hyperglycemic, or elevated blood sugar or elevated glucose, we are also becoming more and more hyperinsulinemic, or elevated insulin. And the hyperinsulinemia, that's the term, hyperinsulinemia. Hyperinsulinemia is what is causing the insulin resistance. So if you want to reverse your insulin resistance, if you want to become more insulin sensitive, if you want to potentially reverse your type 2 diabetes, get to work on the insulin. Lower the insulin in your bloodstream, and as you do that, you will start to resensitize the cells. You will start to become insulin sensitive. You will start to reverse the insulin resistance, and guess what goes away? Type 2 diabetes. That's how it worked for me, and that's what I'm going to go through this live stream and tell you exactly what I do to achieve that. I see Mom loves to cook. My baby has the darkness on his armpits. Okay, Mom loves to cook. Here it is. I've got a video that's kind of going live, kind of going viral on TikTok right now. And that video says, do you have skin tags or darkening or discoloration of the skin around your neck or your armpit area? That darkening or discoloration of the skin is called acanthosis nigricans. There's a mouthful, right? Acanthosis nigricans. And that is caused by insulin resistance. The very same thing that will lead to type 2 diabetes causes acanthosis nigricans. So if you want to get rid of the darkening or discoloration of the skin, this entire live stream applies to that as well. Really what that is, and thank you for the prelude, really what that is a very, very, very early indicator of a big problem. Okay, your son, your baby has the problem. Okay, so with that being said, and I hope you're not really talking about a baby, like baby, or are you talking about your son or your husband or something like that, your wife? Okay, so let's get to work on this, okay? So I've talked about what is insulin resistance, what causes it. Well, hyperinsulinemia causes it. So he is 8. Okay, so Mom loves to cook. We probably need to be talking about, well, I mean, he would be insulin resistant. That is it. That's disturbing that it's happening at 8 years old. Is your son pudgy, soft, fluffy? I don't know how to word it, right? Overweight. There's a growing obesity epidemic amongst children in the United States right now. In fact, there was a study that suggests that diabetes amongst our youth is expected to grow by 700% by the year 2060. That's a staggering number. So if we're seeing that acanthosis nigricans around the neck or armpit areas at the age of 8, it's unfortunate, but we're seeing more and more and more of that. So let's just keep listening here, okay? Just keep listening here. And I want to talk specifically to Mom loves to cook. I am going to talk about some supplements. I'm never going to suggest that anybody takes supplements. They don't have to buy any supplements whatsoever. I am going to talk about some that I do take. However, your 8-year-old child, this should be able to be easily controlled through diet. Okay, I would start working on the diet, and I'm going to talk a lot about diet and food ideas and food options as well throughout this live stream. So keep listening to here. It looks like Tori asked, can PCOS cause these things as well? Interesting. Polycystic ovarian syndrome is the #1 cause of infertility amongst women in the United States, caused by insulin resistance. So I love this. Let me kind of jump back into rhythm here. I've talked about what is insulin resistance, what causes it, hyperinsulinemia. Let's talk about what does it cause. We've talked about type 2 diabetes. We've now talked about acanthosis nigricans. We've talked about PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. This image behind my head, developed by Dr. Ben Bickman, professor of cell biology and physiology, this image is just an indicator of the different things that can be caused by insulin resistance. Okay, so with that being said, I want to read these symptoms, and that's what I want you to think of them like, is a symptom of a problem. The root cause is insulin resistance, and all of these things are symptoms. So as I go through and talk about the root cause, I want to know how many of these symptoms you are affected by. So if I name off a symptom that applies to you or somebody that you know, do me a favor and type the word me. And what this is going to illustrate is that we are in fact not talking about type 2 diabetes. We are not talking about polycystic ovarian syndrome. We're not talking about acanthosis nigricans. We are talking about the root cause for all of them, okay? And if we want to kill the tree, we start by killing the root, right? So, stroke. Is there anybody listening to me that's affected by stroke? And of course, you can't see it, but that is very top, like 12 o'clock stroke. The very next one over is heart disease. Anybody listening to me either suffer from heart disease or know somebody who suffers from heart disease? Okay. How about obesity? There's a trigger one, right? Insulin is a store of fat. When the cell becomes resistant, insulin has to put that glucose somewhere. It stores it in the form of fat. If you want to reduce the fat cell, reduce the insulin. Case in point, type 1 diabetics, the ones that are typically diagnosed at early age, early onset. If you were to imagine what they look like, they're probably thin as a rail. Versus type 2 diabetics, people like me who found out in their 30s or 40s, they're probably generally well-rounded or pleasantly plump, right? And what's the difference is the presence of insulin. A type 1 doesn't produce any insulin. A type 2 is hyperinsulinemic. A type 1 is skinny as a rail. A type 2 is not. The presence of insulin. So when insulin is present, we store fat. If you want to reduce your fat, if you want to not be obese, control your insulin. How do you control your insulin? Through your carbs. Keep listening. Migraine headaches. How many people are listening to me that suffer from migraine headaches? Blenda says, a lot was me, but not anymore. Thanks, Jim. Thank you, Blenda. I love this. Kevin says, both of me, right? How about dementia? Now, I don't imagine many people that are listening to me are suffering from dementia. So let's talk about somebody that you know or care about, right? What happens when you become insulin resistant of the brain? Dementia. How about osteoarthritis? How about childhood obesity? And mom that loves to cook, I asked the question, I don't know if your baby is overweight or not, but there's one, childhood obesity, right? How about polycystic ovarian syndrome? Any women listening to me that have PCOS, more than that, are there any women that are listening to me that are infertile? If you are a woman who is infertile, there's a chance that it's caused by PCOS, because PCOS is the #1 cause for infertility amongst women, caused by insulin resistance. How about fatty liver? Top 10 cause of death is liver disease. At the top of that list is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Is there anybody listening to me that's been diagnosed with fatty liver? How about arthritis? We're back over into this corner now. Or Alzheimer's disease, oftentimes referred to as type 3 diabetes. Again, insulin resistance of the brain. And I like to pick on this example here. So many people might say, I'm obese. It's not that big of a deal. I can lose weight tomorrow. I like being pleasantly plump. That was me. I kind of liked the fact that I felt sturdy, right? And I wasn't really worried about it. I'll lose weight someday, right? And then I became type 2 diabetic, and that scared me quite a bit. But there were medications, and I was on the medications. And okay, so long as I'm taking the medications, I'll be okay, right? But I was never addressing the root cause. Had somebody have told me that, hey, the root cause that you're not doing anything about is the same root cause as Alzheimer's disease, and if you don't do something now, guess what is coming down the road? Alzheimer's. I would have stopped everything. The idea of Alzheimer's or dementia is terrifying. That's terrifying. Nobody wants that. How about erectile dysfunction? How about erectile dysfunction? Or sarcopenia? Anybody listening to me that has high blood pressure? If you have high blood pressure, that's a very, very, very early indicator. And then finally, how many people are listening to me that have type 2 diabetes? And I want to add to the type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, because that makes perfect sense. How many people are listening to me that have pre-diabetes? And I'm going to add on a couple other ones to this list because they fall in line. Fibromyalgia. How about gout? Does anybody suffer from gout? How about the skin tags around the neck or chest area, acanthosis nigricans, that's the darkening or discoloration of the skin around the neck or chest or armpit areas, inner thighs, sometimes on the face, right? How about multiple sclerosis? How about depression? Is there anybody listening to me that has maybe some mental health struggles, mental health challenges? What if there was a possible correlation between your gut health and your mental health? Is that believable? What's happening, Mel? I did a video. It's on TikTok. I think it's on most of my social media platforms. And it was Dr. Cynthia Calkin. Dr. Cynthia Calkin is a psychologist out of the Pacific Northwest, and she studies people with mental health issues. And she came across a correlation between bipolar treatment disorder and insulin resistance. It's a fascinating topic. It also leads into schizophrenia and all sorts of things. So it's a fascinating one. When we're done with this live stream, go sifting through whichever platform you're on, whether you're on my TikTok or my Facebook or my YouTube. I know Blenda's on YouTube. I know we've got, I think Mickey's on Twitch. Whatever platform you're on, go sifting through my videos, and you'll find all of my videos are centrally, they're dedicated to this topic. Okay? My content is dedicated to this topic. So now that we've talked about what is insulin resistance, what causes it, and what does it cause, let's dive into what do I do to reverse it. Okay, I'm going to turn this background off, and then I'm going to go to this. Whoa, that is up close, isn't it? Is that too close? Does that look better? Is that too close for you guys, or did you like do you like it this format, or do you like those little wavy things? Hey, Patty, how are you? This system will improve your mental health. Kevin came across my live stream last July-ish. You like that, Tracy? Patty, how are you, Patty? Tracy says this is good. Is everybody okay with this? Okay. Okay. I'm going to talk about Tracy. We can count nose hairs now. Okay. I'm going to go through a 3-step process. The 3 steps are things that I have to do every single day. They are non-negotiable. I have to do them. Okay. And those 3 things are all targeting insulin resistance. Individually, they will work by themselves. When you put all 3 of them together, it's kind of an all-star lineup. So with that being said, I don't have a problem with things like berberine or cinnamon or apple cider vinegar. I don't have a problem with any of those. Oftentimes people will ask me, what do you think about Ozempic or Trulicity? I don't like them. They're a chemical. Okay, and I'll get into detail here, but that's just my take on it. I would rather do things all naturally. I would rather let thy food be thy medicine. I believe that's what we were built for. I don't believe we were built for the chemicals. Personally, I don't trust the pharmaceutical industry at all. That's just me. Maybe you do. If you think that they're looking for a cure rather than a customer, then this probably is not your live stream. Okay, I'm just going to throw that out. Step 1 of the protocol is intermittent fasting. Okra water. What is that, Ro? And while I'm at it, if you're on Facebook or if you're on TikTok, I just highlighted Ro's comment. Give Ro a follow. Ro took her A1C from in excess of 14 to a 5.9 in 3 months. Quick question. Do you think that's impressive? if taking an A1C that's over 14 to a 5.9, is that impressive? And if you think that's impressive, then do me a favor, just type wow Ro. Wow Ro. I love it. I love it. Okay. Step 1 of the 3-step protocol is intermittent fasting. What is intermittent fasting? And you may have heard of it before. Maybe you're thinking, oh man, this guy's going to tell me that I can't eat for 3 days in a row. Not at all. Okay? Not at all. What I'm talking about is time-based eating. So out of a 24-hour day, I don't eat for 16, and I do eat 2 meals within the remaining 8 hours. So we call that 16 and 8 time-based eating. You may have heard of 18 and 6 or 20 and 4 or 23 and 1. That's what it really is time-based eating schedule. Out of a 24-hour day, I don't eat for 16. I do eat 2 meals in the remaining 8. So for me personally, at 8 p.m., I'm done eating. A lot of people saying, wow, I love that, by the way, guys. That is so encouraging. So encouraging. And I can't see my head count in TikTok. How many people are watching me on TikTok right now? It looks like we've got some people on Twitter. It looks like we have some people on Twitch. Real quick, throw out which platform you're listening to me, and I'm going to highlight your comments. And how many people are actually watching right now? Looks like we got 52 on TikTok, right? TikTok. Mostly TikTok. Mostly, and that's to be expected. I've got my largest following on TikTok. I can see we've got people on Twitter and Twitch. It's kind of cool. Okay. Time-based eating. So for me personally, at 8 p.m., I am done eating for the day. I've had my food. I don't need anything else. Anything that I'm eating after that is out of habit, right? You've had dinner. You're probably full. You don't need any more food. So at 8 p.m., I'm done eating. I don't eat again until noon the following day. That is a 16-hour block. And in that 16-hour block, thank you, Jana. Andy, I've been busy, man. Blurry on TikTok. Is it blurry for everybody on TikTok right now? Is it blurry for everybody on TikTok? That's disturbing if it is. I love that user. Oh my, how bad? How bad? Is it only, Tracy, is that new? Guys, I'm addressing this blurry thing. What's up, Craig? How are you? A lot of people saying I'm blurry. Yes, your camera is too close to your face. How about that? Is that better? Sound is clear, but picture is pixelated. Is this better? I'm scooting back. Okay. This is better? Okay. So that's what it was. I was just too close. Okay. I was just too close. Now I know. I'm learning every day. 16 and 8 time-based eating schedule. So out of a 24-hour day, I don't eat for 16. I do eat 2 meals in the remaining 8. So for me, at 8 p.m., I'm done eating. I don't eat again until noon the following day. The advantage to doing it that way is I knock out a lot of my fast while I'm sleeping, about 50% of it. And if I'm done eating at 8 p.m., I'm up for a couple, 3 hours after that. So by the time I wake up, I'm 11 or more hours through my fast. Make sense? And then all I have to do is hold out for another 5 hours or so. Now, let's go into detail about this. What causes insulin resistance? Recall, it's hyperinsulinemia. Elevated insulin is what's causing the problem. Jenna saying, you are aging in reverse. Thank you, Jenna. It's the system, I swear. I'll text you later with my blood work results unless you want me to tell. Andy, I want you to tell everybody on here. Andy says, I'll text you later with my blood work results unless you want me to tell everyone on here. Throw it out, man. And by the way, when I post this, when I put these comments up like this, can everybody read that well? Is that legible for everybody? Okay. Now, I want to go through, if hyperinsulinemia is causing the problem, what causes hyperinsulinemia? Elevated glucose, right? Now, how many of us spike our insulin first thing in the morning? What do we do to spike our insulin? Spike our glucose. How do you do that? Cup of sugary coffee. Do you do that, or have you historically done that? Had a coffee with a sweetener in it? Maybe one of those Starbucks things, it is obnoxious, by the way, the amount of sugar in a Starbucks. It takes you a teaspoon of sugar for your entire body to work. 1 teaspoon of sugar for your entire blood system works. How many tablespoons of sugar do you put in your coffee? Think about it like that. Or do you have thank you, Mickey, or do you have maybe a slice of toast or a bagel? Roe Reverse told me that she used to go through Starbucks first thing in the morning. She'd grab that sugary drink, right? And then right next to Starbucks was the Einstein bagels. She'd go through there and grab her bagel with her, I think it was a vegetarian schmear or something like that, vegetarian because it's healthy, 55 carbs in that bagel. So what are we doing right away? We are spiking our glucose. What does that do to your insulin? Spikes your insulin. It takes 6 or more hours for somebody who is insulin resistant for their insulin levels to come down. And that is crazy because what are we taught to do? Have a healthy snack, and then a healthy lunch, and then a healthy snack, and then a healthy dinner. We're taught to eat all day long. What are you doing there? Every single time you eat, you're spiking your glucose. I have to stop for this. Andy, my A1C went from 9.7 to 5.4, and the liver enzymes was cut in half the first time in 10 years. That is incredible, Andy. That is incredible. That is incredible. And cholesterol went down, he's saying, all in 3 months. How do you feel, Andy? Says, and cholesterol went down all in 3 months. Wow. Wow. Guys, I'm sorry I got derailed with that. That's impressive. That's awesome. If you think that's awesome, type wow, Andy. Let's go with wow, Andy, right? Give me a wow, Andy, if that's the case, right? That is amazing. Lost 20 pounds. Rob Bond, let me come back to you. I love this. A lot of wow. Let's encourage Andy. That is incredible. Okay. What are we doing all day long? We are spiking our glucose. And as we spike our glucose over and over and over and over again, we are pegging our insulin all throughout the day. Now, if you did that once in a while, not that big of a deal, but how often do we do that? When did you start drinking your sugary coffee? When did you start having your bagel or your bowl of cereal or your orange juice and a banana for breakfast, your oatmeal, your cereal? When did you start doing that? Hash browns? How long have you been doing that? See, this didn't happen overnight. We've been doing that for not days, not weeks, not months, not even years. We do that for decades. We keep our insulin pegged for decades. And after decades of just swimming in insulin, our cells stop responding. So intermittent fasting, what are we doing? We're skipping a meal. We're allowing our glucose levels to drop. When our glucose levels drop, what happens to our insulin? We begin to suppress our insulin. And as we suppress our insulin, we begin to promote insulin sensitivity. We begin to reverse that insulin resistance. We're doing it through intermittent fasting. That's step 1 of the protocol. Who has heard of, that is incredible. Andy, I love that. Started the program at Christmas. I love this. Luis XO. Luis XO. Oops, here we go. Dang it. Where did you go? There you go. Luis XO says, what do you think of using metformin? I think metformin gave me an upset stomach. I didn't like being on it at all. And I think that's what the majority of the people that are on it feel. I'm no longer on it. I'm no longer on any medications. And Luis XO, by the way, is watching from Twitch. If you guys are familiar with Twitch, that's another social media platform. Luis, I am also, live streaming across TikTok and Facebook, YouTube, all of these. I don't know if Lewis, if you saw Andy right here just a little bit ago, posted this. A1C went from 9.7 to 5.4. That's powerful. Okay. Your general practitioner is raving about it and wouldn't give you Ozempic. That might just be a blessing. Keep listening, Lewis. Okay, keep listening. I think Tanya, Lewis, I'm going to have to post some of these comments. Lewis, can you see these comments over on Twitch from Tanya? Off all 3 meds and reduced 2.5. Cap. Who has heard of Jocelyn Diabetes Center? If you've heard of Jocelyn Diabetes Center, type me, as in you've heard of it. If you've heard of Jocelyn Diabetes Center, type I have. And here we're going to go. I'm going to grab camera number 2. Let me see. I'm sorry, guys. Can you hear me now? Can everybody hear me now? I didn't realize when I switched cameras, it changed my sound. That's interesting, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'll go back to here. Okay, and I know it's a little bit awkward having me on both of these cameras, but I think that's the only way I can get the sound to work. Okay, I know, this is annoying. That's annoying. One of these things that I'm learning about multi-streaming is I don't know why the sound is only on one camera. That's annoying. But it is what it is. Let me just power through this, okay? This is jocelyn.org and Jocelyn Diabetes Center. Jocelyn Diabetes Center has been improving the lives of diabetes patients since 1893. This is Dr. Elliot Jocelyn. Now, in the 1800s, when Dr. Jocelyn graduated med school, there was no reason to specialize in diabetes. However, when he graduated med school, he found out that both his aunt and his mother had diabetes. And for that reason, he decided to specialize in diabetes. He was one of the first to do so, really. And what Dr. Jocelyn thought the keys to diabetes control was intermittent fasting and strict glucose control. And we know strict glucose control to be true. We just do. We know this to be true. Now, what Dr. Jocelyn did, he wrote a paper on this. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted by myself right now. He wrote a paper on this in 1916, the treatment of diabetes mellitus. This is 108 years ago. 108 years ago. And what he would write is that temporary periods of undernutrition are helpful in the treatment of diabetes will probably be acknowledged by all after these 2 years of experience with fasting. Now, what was Dr. Jocelyn suggesting 108 years ago? was that this wasn't that big of a deal. All we had to do was stop eating so frequently. And if we would do that, the problem would kind of go away. But did we do that? And the answer is no. We didn't listen to what he said. In fact, a few years after he wrote that, we discovered insulin. And it wouldn't be long after that that insulin would land in the hands of the pharmaceutical industry. And in 2022, the global pharmaceutical, the global human insulin drug market, the insulin prescribed to humans, was estimated to be $45 billion. That number is estimated to surpass $84 billion by the year 2030. That is an amazing number. Now, keeping in mind, insulin, hyperinsulinemia is the problem. If you're hyperinsulinemic, why do you need more insulin? If you're a type 2 diabetic, you don't need more insulin. But how many type 2 diabetics do you know are prescribed insulin? How many type 2 diabetics do you know are given insulin to control their diabetes? See, we've got what Dr. Ben Bikman, and I'm going to show a video here in just a moment. It's easier talking to a rock. He has high blood pressure. Send him my live streams, trims. I'm going to show you a video from Dr. Ben Bikman, and he's talking about a glucose-centric approach, because that's what current medicine is doing, right? They are taking a glucose-centric approach. Whatever it takes to drop the glucose is a win long term. But is it? And that's the problem. How much insulin are we giving people to lower their glucose? And it's taking more and more and more. And so I'm going to turn that second camera back on and play a video from my video library. And by the way, this is my TikTok video library. I've got the same videos on all of my social media platforms, not on Twitch, because Twitch doesn't hold videos. But if you're listening to me from Twitch, the same @ name is on all of the social media platforms. You can find all of these videos there at The Real Jim BBQ and The Healthy Pitmaster. So what I want to do is I want to play this video right here. This is Dr. Ben Bikman talking about insulin resistance or type 2 diabetics taking insulin therapy.
But regardless, because we have a glucose-centric view of the disease, essentially the clinician is saying, well, to heck with your insulin. Who cares if we push it up even higher? They might not even know where it is. All they know is if they push the insulin up even higher, the glucose will in fact come down. And because that's the target, the glucose, they believe they're achieving the optimal outcome. However, it's much more complicated and sinister than that. The more aggressively we're giving the type 2 diabetic insulin to control their glucose, the faster we kill them. They are 3 times more likely to die from heart disease, and twice as likely to die from cancer, and twice as likely to develop Alzheimer's disease. And throughout all of it, they need more and more and more insulin because they're becoming ever more resistant to it.
So how many people are listening to me that are type 2 diabetics that are on insulin therapy, as in you are what they would label insulin dependent? If you're a type 2 diabetic and you are insulin dependent, would you just type I am in the comment section? Lucio, Mike was, right? Tracy says Mike was. And I want to know, Patricia, Lucio, Trump 24. Did that message resonate with you? Did listening to Dr. Ben Bikman tell you that that is not in fact the answer? Did that impact you? Just a yes or no. And I guess the other question would be, can you validate what Dr. Bikman was suggesting there? Has your insulin usage gone up or has it gone down since you started using it? And then that leads into, think about the level of education that's housed within the walls of those buildings. Everybody's staying up, right? You are becoming more and more and more resistant to the insulin. And if you become more and more and more resistant to the insulin, well, then we start to talk about that image that Dr. Bickman created. This right here, right? If you are insulin resistant, you're more prone to stroke, heart disease, obesity, migraine headaches, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. How many of these, folks, I'm going to ask a question here. You have been on Ozempic and have been sick and insulin went down. I want to talk about Ozempic, Patricia. Folks, real quick, I want to ask the question, if each one of those is a symptom of insulin resistance, how many symptoms are you currently medicating? Do me a favor and just count the number of symptoms that you're currently medicating. And just put that number in the comment section. And if you're, let's say you're medicating type 2, but you're currently taking 2 or 3 medications for it, add that to it. How many different medications are you on? Tracy's at 0 because she's been doing what I'm talking about for a while now. And is that terrifying? Can you guys read that image well? 4, 3. It's terrifying, right? And you're becoming more and more and more resistant to the medication. So Jess Bubbles says 2, high blood pressure and migraine headaches. When I was a kid, I got migraine headaches. We would give me an 800 milligram Motrin. By the time I became an adult, that wasn't enough. Why wasn't it enough? Because I never dealt with the root cause, right? And eventually the root cause became so big that the symptom got worse. And so how does that look in type 2 diabetes? You start with metformin, and it works. It looks like everything is hunky-dory, but you never did anything about the root cause, and it got worse and worse and worse. And eventually, metformin was no longer able to contain the symptom. And so they go another drug, right? And that now it looks like we have everything under control. And then 2 years later, well, guess what? It's no longer controlling it. Why? Because the root cause got bigger and eventually the symptom outgrew the second medication. So here's a third one. Does that resonate? Is anybody listening? Does that resonate with anybody? Patricia was on type 2. Is this resonating? Who's heard of Dr. Jason Fung? Dr. Jason Fung is a nephrologist out of Toronto, Canada. He studies kidneys. Now, coming back to the type 2 diabetics, what is one of the things that they are always very, very interested in for type 2 diabetics? Kidney function. Well, Dr. Fung is a nephrologist. That's what he's interested in. That's what he studies. And he found a relationship between poor kidney health and insulin resistance. He thought that if we could reverse the insulin resistance, it would have a profound effect on the kidney. And so what did Dr. Fung do? Dr. Fung started giving people a very strict glucose, very strict low-carb, high-fat diet. He went to the work of Dr. Elliot Jocelyn from more than 100 years ago. Strict glucose control and intermittent fasting. For his strict glucose control, he implemented a low-carb, high-fat diet. And for his intermittent fasting, it really varied by person and how sick they were. But Dr. Fung has had amazing results. He's a 5-time best-selling author. I always, Just Bubbles, keep listening. I'm talking about that right now. Just Bubbles, for those that asked, how do you reverse insulin resistance? That's what we're talking about right now, Jess. Keep listening. Dr. Jason Fung. Here is a book I highly, highly, highly suggest. It's called Life in the Fasting Lane. Can you guys read that, or is it pixelated? And I'll have you take a moment to take a screenshot. Hey, Tina, how are you? If you'd like to take a screenshot of this book, it is a great book. Tanya, I'm going to tag that up there. Hope you guys can all see Tanya's. Okay, it's backwards. I know it is, Craig. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this. It's a little harder to flip it around. Oops, video. How about that? I can't control it there. How about that? Man, everything's backwards for me. I'll count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. Man, when I flip it around, that is difficult. Video, turn that mirror off. Okay. Are there any questions? What's up, reversing type 2 diabetes naturally from Facebook? Look at this from Facebook. If you're on Facebook, let's give reversing type 2 diabetes naturally a follow. I just leave my camera settings in reverse. I know, Craig, but I'm not. It goofs me up, bud. Everything is backwards. Tina Fraser, doing good. Seeing results of my blood sugars and only been doing the system for a week. Love that, Tina. I love that. Are there any questions about step 1 of the protocol, which is intermittent fasting? 16 and 8, time-based eating schedule. Does anybody have any questions about intermittent fasting? And if you do, let's ask them now. Otherwise, we're ready to move on to step 2. And by the way, step 1 takes the longest to explain. Step 2 goes a little bit quicker. Step 3 is the fastest. Are there any questions at all? You know what I could do? Let's do this. I will. Craig, I'm going to take your advice, brother. I'm going to try this, but everything is backwards. Let's see. Is that? Yeah, everything is backwards. Boy, that's weird. Everything. Your actions are all backwards. If you're ready for me to move on to step 2, then type ready. Otherwise, feel free to ask questions about step 1. I'm going to wet my palate a little bit. Man, it got quiet. Lucio, ready. Okay, I was wondering if my chat stopped working. Okay, step 2 of the protocol, folks, is consuming more chlorogenic acid. Now, what is chlorogenic acid? Chlorogenic acid is a naturally occurring polyphenol. It occurs naturally in certain fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. It is most abundant in your teas, green tea, black tea. In nature, it is absolutely most abundant in a green coffee bean. And the reason I point all that out is this is something that you can get naturally, right? From fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, green tea, black tea, coffee. What is chlorogenic acid and what are its benefits? What I want to do is rewind exactly. Here we go, Lucio. I'm going to play examples. And there are a lot of people that are listening to me right now that I think are on, let's say, GLP-1, Ozempic, Mounjaro, right? Anybody on those? Anybody on one of those? Trulicity, Wegovy. What up, Ro? There she is from Facebook. That is Ro from Facebook. I love this. Okay, what do we know about chlorogenic acid? And I'm going to go through quite a bit of proof here in just a moment. But let's talk about real quick with regard to chlorogenic acid. How many people are on metformin? What if I could show you proof that chlorogenic acid acts in a similar way to metformin? How many people are on a high blood pressure medication? What if I could show you proof that chlorogenic acid helps lower blood pressure? How many people are on a Ozempic or Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound, Rybelsus, Trulicity, Saxenda? What if I could show you that chlorogenic acid acts in a similar way to those? Again, this is something you'll find in nature. Would that be of interest to you? So let me jump over to my proof, because that's what I like to do. I got to open up. Here we go. All plant-based. Okay, so here we are. Can you guys see my, let's see. I don't like the way that's going. Okay, you can see my iPad, right? So let's start here. This right here. A chlorogenic acid-induced increase in GLP-1 production may mediate the impact of heavy coffee consumption on diabetes risk. And I want to pick on this line right here. It's probably a little bit small for you, but indeed, there is recent evidence that coffee increases production of the incretin hormone glucagon-like peptide 1. Now, folks, this is PubMed, NIH. This is an official website of the United States government, nih.gov. Chlorogenic acid-induced increase in GLP-1 production. The effects of chlorogenic acid on blood pressure. This is a systematic review and meta-analysis of randomized clinical trials. And here, let's see. In conclusion, the evidence from published randomized clinical trials suggests that chlorogenic acid intake causes statistically significant reductions in systolic and diastolic blood pressures. We have proof that chlorogenic acid lowers blood pressure. This one here, chlorogenic acid improves glucose tolerance, lipid metabolism, inflammation, and microbiota composition in diabetic mice. This one, if you're on metformin, this will be interesting to you. The results showed that chlorogenic acid decreased body weight, so it aided in weight loss, improved glucose tolerance and insulin resistance, so it promoted insulin sensitivity. And these effects were similar to those of metformin. These effects were similar to those of metformin. This one here, I don't know why it always starts at the bottom on this one, but I apologize. I like the way that this one is worded. Chlorogenic acid is a novel insulin sensitizer that potentiates insulin action similar to the therapeutic action of metformin. I believe that is a powerful statement, don't you? I want to play a video here of Dr. Andrew Huberman. Dr. Andrew Huberman, he is a professor of neurobiology at Stanford Medicine. This guy is brilliant. You can see that he's got his bachelor's from the University of Cal Santa Barbara, his master's from Cal Berkeley, his PhD from Cal Davis, his postdoctorate from the University of Stanford. Now, this is Dr. Huberman talking about yerba mate.
A guy down in South America was looking at Gila monsters, those really scary things, and he realized they don't have to eat very often. I wonder if they're hungry all the time or not. Turns out, takes their blood, isolates a peptide, which turns out to be GLP-1, puts it into other animals, and realizes it suppresses appetite. Amazing, right? Like this is what I love about biology. Some dude who studies Gila monsters. Turns out humans make GLP-1. GLP-1 is stimulated by things like yerba mate tea. Certain other compounds, plant compounds, stimulate its release. But what does it do in the hypothalamus? It suppresses hunger by way of, there's a particular brain arcuate pathway, blah, blah, blah. But it also affects the mechanosensors of the gut so that you feel like your gut's full. Like it's almost like you're getting like a pharmacologic stapled stomach, right? So when people take a drug that mimics GLP-1, their brain is like, well, I'm not as hungry, and their stomach feels full even though it's empty. A guy down in South America
Okay, I think that's just fascinating. Where did my Chrome go? There it is. Okay. What if yerba mate tea, according to that neurobiologist who's a professor at Stanford Medicine, what if yerba mate tea could increase your GLP-1 production? Would that be interesting to you? Right? And without the side effects that are associated with your Ozempic. So what is GLP-1? GLP-1 is an incretin, it's an incretin hormone. It stands for glucagon-like peptide 1. Now, GLP-1, what they have found is that when GLP-1 is elevated, glucose is down. When GLP-1 is elevated, appetite is down. When GLP-1 is elevated, the fat cell shrinks. So let's increase GLP-1, right? It makes perfect sense. So what is Ozempic? It is what they call, and Mounjaro and Trulicity, they are all what they refer to as glucagon-like peptide 1 receptor agonists. They are agitating your body to a point of producing more GLP-1. Your body produces it. Those chemicals are just really kind of prodding your body to make more. Okay? Now, if, as Dr. Ben Bikman's words, how are you, Sherry? Dr. Ben Bikman's words would be, if 1 to 10 was a natural range, those medications are pushing you to an 11. And when you get to an 11, it's not without side effects, right? Every single one of those GLP-1 receptor agonists has a side effect of a potential side effect of thyroid C-cell tumors, including cancer. They all have a potential side effect of gastroparesis. That is a paralyzing of the stomach. They all have they are all, in Dr. Ben Bikman's words, they are forcing the fat cell to shrink, but they are creating more fat cells in an effort to pick up some of that metabolic burden. So if you are producing more fat cells, you are going from what they refer to as hypertrophic fat store to hyperplastic fat store. Now, what happens when you stop taking the medication? You put the weight back on fast. And because you have more fat cells, you put it on more. It comes back worse. Lisa asks, is there a study on long-term effects of raising the GLP-1 over time? Your body naturally raises GLP-1, Lisa. Your body's supposed to raise GLP-1. It's supposed to do it through diet. It's not supposed to do it through chemicals. Okay, that's what the problem is we are chemically inducing to harmful levels. Your body's supposed to create it. It's not like it's they're not, that's the common misconception. Ozempic, you're not injecting yourself with GLP-1. You're injecting yourself with something that will induce your body into producing more GLP-1. It's something your body already does, but it's supposed to do it through food, things like chlorogenic acid, not through chemicals. In fact, this leads me over to a great example. I talk about Dr. Ben Bikman, okay? Now let me talk about Dr. Ben Bikman here real quick. I'm going to turn the camera on and I'll come over to here. Okay, so this is Dr. Ben Bikman. Now I got to turn my other camera on so that I can see where I'm pointing. Okay, this is Dr. Ben Bikman, and this is his bio on byu.edu. Dr. Ben Bikman. Now, Ben Bikman is a professor of cell biology and physiology at BYU. He holds multiple doctorates. Okay. Courses taught. He has taught a lot of courses. He's been published more than 30 times. Look at the publications. And all of the publications have to do with metabolic disease, right? Glucose intolerance, biomarkers of metabolism and glycemic control. That's what he does. Okay, Dr. Ben Bickman. Now, if we go over to his website, which is insuliniq.com, we can scroll down and you'll find that image right there. That's where I got that image that I started this live stream off with. Now, this guy right here, Dr. Bickman, did a published research paper on a tea. This tea right here. Now, if we know what we know about Dr. Huberman, yerba mate is a great way to increase your body's own GLP-1 production. Dr. Huberman, you heard that neurobiologist from Stanford say that yerba mate tea was a great way to elevate your GLP-1 production. This tea, Dr. Benjamin Bickman, one of the world's leading metabolic scientists, this tea right here, he says will increase your GLP-1 production by up to 70% during a fasted state. And really think about what that means. What am I saying when I make that statement? It will increase your GLP-1 production by up to 70% during a fasted state. What we have is the world's leading metabolic scientist saying that this tea right here does wonderful things with GLP-1. It also reduces your appetite. It helps you extend your fast. It gives you an amazing boost of energy in the morning. Boy, what else? It promotes insulin sensitivity, of course. It helps lower blood pressure. It helps aid in weight loss. It forces the fat cell to shrink. It induces ketosis up to 80 times faster than the alternative. So, are there any questions about step 2 of the protocol, which is consuming more chlorogenic acid? And I'm already getting the questions here. I'm going to highlight this one here. What is the name of the tea? Lucio, I'm going to hold off on giving the name, and here is the reason why. I said that this was not a commercial. I never suggest that anybody has to buy anything. I talk about things that are wonderful like this, but I have found that when I give the name of the tea away, people leave the live stream, they go and Google the tea, they find out it is exactly what I said it was, and then they miss step 3, which I'm getting ready to start right now. There's only 3 steps to the protocol. Hang tight with me for just a little bit longer, and if those people are interested in the products that I'm talking about, I will talk about them ad nauseum as long as you want after the live stream. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's fair to everybody. Vicky, getting ready to break my fast. Blood sugar is 103. Sherry, awesome. Lucio, good. Jess Bubbles, I hope that's fair to you. Jeannie, I hope you caught on that. Looks like we're good here. Lucio. Okay. By the way, we are live streaming across multiple platforms. We got people on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter. If you're on Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter, would you say hi? I'm going to highlight your comment across here, similar to this. It's really cool. We have the ability to interact with multiple platforms here. I think that's exciting. What do we have? We're 46 people on TikTok. Okay, yes, we are, Michael. We are definitely talking about skin tags. What reverses the skin tags? You have to reverse the insulin resistance. Are we ready for step 3, folks? 3-step protocol. If you have questions about, there it is, Ro from Facebook. Hey. Does anybody have any questions about step 2? Or are we ready for step 3? And I see Sherry says she's ready. The tea, Tish, great question. The tea does not break your fast. In fact, the tea will help you extend it. You almost forget that you're hungry. It's the craziest thing. It is that. And in fact, what's up, Jared? How are you, brother? To that point, Lisa asks, do longer fasts yield better or more results? Absolutely. Okay. So, yes, I love that. Great questions. The tea helps extend the fast. It makes fasting easier. In fact, For the people who are listening right now that are currently drinking that tea, how do you feel about it? Does it help with your fast? Does it give you a boost of energy? Just give me a one-liner real quick for the people that are watching, and I'll highlight those comments as they come through. I'm curious. You're like in unison. You're everywhere. Michelle, what's up? I am. I feel like my comment section is working today, which is wonderful. I feel like I'm almost conducting this like I know what I'm doing. User 8274. I never thought I'd be able to intermittent fast. It curbs my hunger and makes fasting easy. That's the T. Reversing type 2 diabetes from Facebook. Love it. It extends my fast. Lisa. I realized I've been doing 16 to 18 hours easily, right? Michelle from Facebook. I fast 18 to 24 hours, or 18 to 20 hours a day with great ease. Ellen. Yes, it's totally helpful while fasting. It makes it easy. Jimma, amazing energy and no feeling hungry drinking the tea. I think the point is made. Thank you, everybody, for putting in your comments there. Okay. Step 3 of the protocol. Michelle, one final one. I'm not hungry, then I just eat, and I'm not feeling hangry. That's the way to put it. Michelle, by the way, that person that just commented there has lost over 80 pounds and 67 inches off of her body, nearly 6 feet in measurements off of her body in 8 months, doing exactly what I'm talking about. She is drinking the tea. Okay. Reversing type 2 diabetes naturally. I've been fasting 23 hours and eat dinner. Baka bites. Definitely a game changer. I haven't eaten since 9 last night and I'm still not hungry. Just keep sipping. Okay. I'm going to, guys, thank you very much. From Michelle. Listen to Jim saved my life. And Michelle is now saving the lives of people as well. Thank you, Michelle. Okay. Step 3 of the protocol. Let's jump into that, okay? And then we'll open this thing up for questions. I'll talk about where to buy the products if you're interested in the products at the end, okay? Step 3, and the final step, by the way, she is on, Michelle, she wants to know where you're at. Tracy, she's on Facebook. She's watching us from Facebook. Okay. Here we go. And I hope, by the way, when I'm hiding these comments, can everybody still on TikTok, RRWife08, just typed Sista, where is she? I highlighted it on the page and then I hid it. Can everybody still see that comment on TikTok? Can you guys still see that comment? Or did I accidentally hide it on TikTok? Can everybody see it before I move on? Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm choosing to hide it, but then I get this little warning says message hidden. I want to make sure I'm not hiding it on TikTok. Step 3 of the protocol. Here we go. Step 3 of the protocol is consuming more fiber. Okay. In the United States, 93% of Americans don't get the recommended daily intake of fiber. So that is 95% of men and 91% of women don't get their recommended daily intake of fiber. Now, why does that matter? What does fiber play a role? And maybe you've heard this statement, and I guess type yes or no if you have heard this statement. A diet adequate in fiber drastically reduces your risk for heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Have you heard that statement before? A diet adequate in fiber drastically reduces your risk for heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes. Why? There are 2 categories of fiber. There is a soluble fiber and an insoluble fiber. So insoluble fiber does not dissolve in water. Soluble fiber does. So insoluble fiber, I like to pick on quinoa. That's a great example of insoluble fiber. Maybe you've heard of quinoa, Quinoa. It's a whole grain that's boiled to a tenderness and oftentimes served with a Mediterranean style meal. Now, quinoa does not dissolve in water. When you eat it and the next day when you poop it out, it looks the same. It did not dissolve on the way through. What does that mean? That means it goes through your body kind of like a roto-rooter. It gets through all of those nooks and crannies and gets rid of the stuff that we're not going to use, and we deal with that in the toilet. It kind of firms up your poo and it gets all of the stuff out of you. Now, soluble fiber forms, it's the opposite. It does dissolve in water and it forms a thick, sticky matrix, fibrous kind of matrix, and it coats your gut tract. And as you consume the carbohydrate, like the piece of bread, it slowly forces your body to process that carbohydrate and convert it to glucose. So, as an example, if you did not have that soluble fiber in your body and you ate a piece of white bread, right? There's no fiber in white bread, it's all sugar. When you ate it, your body would rapidly convert it to glucose. You would get a quick high glucose spike. And of course, what would that do? That would give you a quick high insulin response. And we don't want the quick high insulin response, right? We do not want that. That's awful. So what do? We give fiber. And what that does is that forces your body to slow down the processing of that carbohydrate. When it does that, instead of getting a quick high glucose spike, we get a slow, gradual climb. And with the slow, gradual climb of glucose, we get a slow, gradual climb of insulin. Remember, hyperinsulinemia is the problem. The quick high glucose spike, we get a quick high insulin response. We don't want that. With the slow, gradual climb, we get a slow, gradual insulin climb. We're keeping ourselves out of that hyperinsulinemic state. That is key. So we need a good blend of both soluble and insoluble fiber. I'm going to answer a couple questions here. Big Amp. So the lack of fiber is what causes the darkness. Big Amp, great question. So no, yes, and no. That's a great question. I'm assuming you just came into this live stream. You watched the video that's going somewhat viral on TikTok right now for the darkening or discoloration of the skin. That is called acanthosis nigricans. That is caused by insulin resistance. The lack of fiber is what leads to insulin resistance. So yes, in a way, okay? And then Rob Bond, I'm sorry I had to step away. Should I cut back on metformin before bed? Because I'm below 50 CGM meter. Rob, I want to come back to you on that. First off, I don't ever give medical advice. I would talk to your doctor, but keep listening to me for just a little bit longer here. Just got in. Nice Arco says, what did I miss? You missed quite a bit, actually. But luckily, I do a live stream every single day. And in fact, this live stream is being simulcast from TikTok. It's also on my Facebook, on my YouTube. It's on Twitch. It's on Twitter. And in every case, that live stream on those cases stays on those platforms. So you'll be able to go back and watch this as soon as this live stream's over, if you like. Or I think on Twitter, you can go and just rewind it and start watching it right now. But you just won't be able to answer the questions or ask the questions. But I do a live stream every single day. Okay. So increasing our fiber. Now, why are 93% of Americans not getting their recommended daily intake of fiber? It is 100% because of those overly processed foods. Now, how many of you have heard avoid eating highly processed foods? How many of you have heard that right there? Rob, of all the folks, you're the best. You could. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try very hard, and I would have been an awful doctor. Nobody wants me working on them. But I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Have you heard that? Shelly, great question. I am on every social media platform. If you can think about it, Facebook, right now I'm live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, DLive, TikTok, right now, YouTube, we're live on right now. I think I'm live on 8 platforms right now, but I'm posting content to most of those pages every day. Okay. Great question though. And in every single case, I am the Healthy Pitmaster. You can find me at the Healthy Pitmaster, or my @ symbol is the same on all of them. It's at the Real Jim BBQ. I'll type those right here. Actually, you can see the Healthy Pitmaster is that little tag right there, but it's at the Real Jim BBQ. There you go. Okay. You can find me at the Real Jim BBQ on all of the major social media platforms. And the Healthy Pitmaster. Okay. So with that being said, have you guys heard? What's up, Yashi on YouTube? Yashi, in fact, Yashi is watching me on YouTube right now. How are you, Yashi? And YouTube will keep this live stream up, so you can go back and watch this live stream at a later time. Okay. How many people have heard? I've enjoyed learning today. That's Sherry. That's awesome. Thank you very much. That's great. I've enjoyed and learned today. And we're almost done, Sherry. Stick with me for just a little bit longer. I still haven't gotten a question from this. Has anybody heard we need to avoid highly processed foods? I've not gotten a yes or no from that. I think that was I was expecting a good response from that, and I haven't gotten a response from that. Debbie asked, what causes skin tags? Insulin resistance. Okay, a lot of yeses now. Okay, nice. Arco says, I said yes. I'm sorry, I missed that. I apologize. I did miss that. A lot of people saying yes. Okay, and I love this. Stacy Cox from YouTube. Yes, I'm going to highlight some of the Angelica. Hi, Mr. Jim. How are you, Angelica? From Facebook. Okay, a lot of people saying yes. So, of course, we have. We've all heard avoid highly processed foods. But do we? Do you avoid those highly processed foods? Do you avoid the white bread? Do you avoid the potato chips? Do you avoid the sodas? Do you really avoid the macaroni and cheese, the boxed, the bagged? Do you? And I bet you, if you really look at your eating habits, you probably don't. Okay? And those highly processed foods are devoid of fiber. Now, why are they devoid of fiber? Well, it's a business decision. Fiber is satiating. It makes you feel full. Fiber spoils. They have to throw away food waste. A lot of people saying, no, they don't avoid those foods. Stacy, thank you for the honesty. Nice Arco says, no, I love this, guys. Thank you. Okay. In fact, what have I suggested throughout this live stream? I've suggested stop eating so frequently. I would be willing to bet you've probably heard that as well, right? Step 1 is stop eating so frequently. You've probably heard that. Step 2, I really strongly talked about drinking more tea and coffee over things like sodas, right? You've probably heard that as well. And then step 3, I'm saying avoid highly processed foods. You've probably heard that as well. In fact, all 3 of these steps, I bet you if you're really to listen to, you've probably heard all 3 of these steps, right? So if we know to avoid the highly processed foods, well, then what should we gravitate to? The frickin' produce section. Go over to the produce section. Get a wide variety of fruits and vegetables at the fruit counter. Let's stick to skin on, less sweet, okay? So I want to be able to consume the skin. So things like apples, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, things where we can consume the skin. I'm going to minimize the skin off fruits, the things like oranges, bananas, grapefruit, that sort of thing. What happens to your glucose if you are, and I'm talking to the type 2 diabetics right now, what happens to your glucose when you eat a banana? It spikes. We don't want to do that anymore. So stop. However, what happens when you eat a blackberry? Probably not a whole lot at all. An exception to this rule, it's obviously not hard-coded. An exception would be an avocado. And there are other exceptions, of course, but an avocado, eat as many avocados as you can in a day. They're wonderful for us, and that is clearly a skin off. We're not consuming that skin. So it's not hard-coded, but it's a good rule of thumb, okay? Eat lots of avocados. They are wonderful, right? So let's go. You're right. Your endocrinologist has never said this before. Lucio, are you getting better on the current path? Are you getting healthier? Okay, go over to the vegetable section. Get a wide variety of vegetables. Get a wide variety of the leafy ones. Get a wide variety of the cruciferous ones. Cruciferous ones are things like Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, all of these things, right? Get a wide variety of them. In the vegetable section, we want to stick to above ground. Lucio says no, not getting better. Stick to above ground, less starchy foods. So what do I mean by above ground, less starchy foods? Let's avoid the potatoes. I don't have a problem with frozen vegetables. Honestly, I don't really have a problem with frozen vegetables. No money in making people healthy. That is an interesting statement, right? I heard somebody refer to it as the wealth care system lately. That was pretty powerful to me, the wealth care system. How many people have a potato problem? As in, you love your potatoes, you got to have them every single day. How many people have that? And let me just tell you, we need to start backing off of the potatoes. There is virtually no fiber in a cooked potato. And if you watch your blood glucose after you have a potato, if you have a mashed potato, Eric True, what's up, buddy? How are you, Eric? Eric watching from Facebook. How are you, brother? Miss you, man. I hope you're well. What happens to your glucose when you have a mashed potato? It spikes. Minimize them. Make them a treat. If you're like me, I used to have hash browns for breakfast, French fries for lunch, mashed potatoes for dinner every day. That's too much. That's not in moderation, right? We need to be in moderation. I was having it every day, 3 times a day. Enjoy them in moderation. Make them a treat rather than a staple. Enjoy mashed potatoes with your steak dinner every couple of weeks. Okay, so that is the key. That's the goal. Is there any questions about step 3 of the protocol? Increasing your fiber, how to avoid, what foods to avoid, what foods to gravitate towards. Are there any questions about that? I do want to talk about a supplement, very similar to the tea. I'm never going to suggest that anybody has to buy a supplement. However, just like the tea, I'm going to tell you why I take it, why I really recommend it. If you're ready for me to talk about the supplement, type the word ready. Otherwise, ask questions about step 3. Are there any questions about step 3? And I'm looking at the comments section. Looks like it just went quiet on me. We got multiple people on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. That's pretty cool. It's kind of cool to be spread across that many platforms. How many people are on? We got 62 people on. I believe my comment section just went out. My comment section just quit working, guys. So, it's no longer showing up for me on my chat. Okay. So, guys, I've got my live stream up on my phone. I'm going to be looking at my live stream to catch the comments. But it's a little bit lagging, and this is a little bit challenging for me to do. So I'm going to try and catch the comments. I see now there are a lot of people talking about they're ready. So let me dive into this. I'm also getting a reply from Restream support. Nice, Arco. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. Let me jump over to I see. Can somebody? I see Facebook comments are still coming through, but not TikTok. My TikTok chat feature isn't working. Okay. Here's the deal, guys. I'm getting hit with sweet potato question. I always get hit with the sweet potato question. I'm also answering to a support line for this software. They're going to try and, I'm sure, fix my comments so they can start working so I can answer questions in real time. But let's jump over to this here. The glycemic index, let's start here. This is Mayo Clinic, okay? This is mayoclinic.org, and they're talking about the glycemic index. What is the glycemic index? Well, the glycemic index ranks foods on a scale from 0 to 100. The low end of the scale has foods that have little effect on blood sugar levels. The high end of the scale has foods with a big effect on blood sugar levels. That's a big deal. We want to avoid foods that are high. We want to gravitate towards foods that are low. So low is 1 to 55, medium is 56 to 69, high is 70 and above. What are examples of foods that are high? White rice, white bread, and potatoes. I would be willing to bet that most everybody here overindulges in white rice, white bread, and potatoes, and probably does not get enough greens, fruits, raw carrots, kidney beans, and so on and so forth, right? Let's just be real. Now, let's talk about the glycemic index of a sweet potato. What is sweet potato? Boil a sweet potato for 30 minutes, you get a glycemic index of 46. That is low. That is wonderful. 46 is a great number. If you boil it for 8 minutes, you get a glycemic index of 61. That is medium and not so good. We don't want medium, we want low. So boiling it for 30 minutes illustrates that the method of preparation changes the glycemic index. If you roast it, how many people have roasted sweet potatoes on the regular? Do you like to roast your sweet potatoes? If you roast your sweet potato, you get a glycemic index of 82. That is high. Roasted sweet potatoes are high in the glycemic index. Remember, the Mayo Clinic said 0 to 100. Well, a roasted sweet potato is an 82. How many of us bake our sweet potato? Oh, nice. Arco says you bake it, right? Because baked sweet potato is good, right? If you bake it for 45 minutes, you get a glycemic index of 94. That is really high. 94. And how many of us choose fried sweet potatoes at the restaurant because fried is better than potato, right? They're 76. 76. What this is illustrating is the method of preparation changes the method of preparation can change the glycemic index, okay? So with that being said, we'll come back to here. turn this camera off. I'm sorry for the inconvenience and frustration. I can see it connected. Are you able to toggle the channel off and then back on to see? No. I am live right now. It wants me to toggle my TikTok live off real quick. Can't do that. Cannot do that. But I think actually, can somebody type something on TikTok for me right now? I want to know if TikTok is hello. Okay. Tanya, did you just type this? Is this brand new? Do I have my TikTok? Okay, I've got my comment back. Okay. I've got the comment feature back. Okay, good. Good. I apologize. Awesome. Thank you guys. I got the comment feature disconnected from TikTok real quick, but it looks like it's back. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so I got you. Gina, thank you very much. Guys, I'm going to ask Tanya or anybody really that has my phone number, if it looks like I'm just not responding to texts or to the messages, it's probably because it got disconnected. Shoot me a text real quick and say, Jim, you haven't responded to 9 consecutive comments. I'm not normally like that, and that's what just happened. So if that happens, would you guys shoot me a text and just say, hey, Jim, check your live? Okay, is coconut water high? Some coconut waters have a lot of sugar in them. I'm not so good on that, okay? I don't like that. So what about water? What about tea? Tracy. Okay. How many people are listening to me that are taking a statin medication, a cholesterol lowering medication? If you're taking a cholesterol lowering medication, type I am. Something like rosuvastatin or atorvastatin or simvastatin. Me, we got a lot of people saying me right away. Okay, Mike says, our Mike is off of his. I love that. What if I could show you proof that those statins are causing insulin resistance? Remember, this entire conversation is about insulin resistance. Oh, they gave it as a preventative measure. Lucio, that's interesting. They gave it as a preventative measure. This might bother you, Lucio. Did you get diabetes before or after you went on the statin medication? There's an interesting comment. Lucio says they gave it as a preventative measure. In 2000, oh man. Okay, here we go. Lucio, I apologize, but I'm probably gonna make you mad right here, okay? He says they gave it before. You got diabetes before or you got diabetes after? Which order? Statin medication, diabetes, or diabetes statin medication? I'm curious. Because here we go with this, guys. Honestly, it doesn't matter a whole lot because I'm still going to make diabetes then medication. Okay, but I'm still going to make this point. In 2013, this article is written in 2013, okay? The American Heart Association and the American College of Cardiology recently released new cardiovascular disease prevention guidelines. They are an egregious example of much that is wrong with medicine today. This was written by Dr. Barbara Roberts. Okay, she's a medical doctor. And what she was saying, here it is. This applies to you, Lucio. The guidelines propose a vast expansion of the use of statins in healthy people, recommending them for about 44% of men and 22% of healthy women between the ages of 40 and 75. Now, why would we be giving medications to healthy people, right? Preventative, healthy. Well, what she is saying is the American Heart Association noted $521 million in donations from non-government and non-membership sources and many well-known large drug companies, including those who make and market statins. She was saying the American Heart Association was protecting industry, not patients. Okay, now why do I beat this drum? Because after those new guidelines in 2013, we saw a 149% increase in statin medication utilization. 37 million people in 2012 and 13, 92 million in 2018 and 19. We went from 37 million people to 92 million people in 6 years. And who knows what it's done from 2019 through 2024, right? Just in 6 years, it was a 149% increase. It's crazy. Now, why does that matter? Let's look at this one right here. This was published in July of last year. Assessing the link between statins and insulin intolerance. This is a systematic review. They looked at nearly 47 million participants. The findings suggest that the use of statins is associated with a decrease in insulin sensitivity and insulin resistance. This systematic review provides evidence that the use of statins may have an adverse effect on insulin sensitivity and increase insulin resistance. These findings may have important clinical implications for individuals on statin therapy, especially those at risk of developing diabetes. Now, who is selling you the statin medication? The pharmaceutical industry. Let's go back over to Dr. Ben Bickman's website, Insulin IQ. They are prescribing you a statin for your heart disease, right? But that statin is causing insulin resistance. What happens when you are insulin resistant? How many other medications can they prescribe you? Does it make sense to give healthy people, 44% of healthy men and 22% of healthy women, a medication? How about that, right? In fact, let's come over here and let's listen to Dr. Ben Bickman.
Cholesterol is a molecule of life. Despite our general societal fear of it, it is involved in countless processes within every cell of the body. Unfortunately, our fear or hatred of cholesterol has given rise to the use of statins, which is a general class of medication that act to inhibit the body's ability to create cholesterol. Well, that is a good way, a statin, to lower your cholesterol. There are consequences to this. Here's a manuscript that was just published in the European Journal of Pharmacology, and it outlines the evidence implicating statins as a molecule or a drug that increases the risk of insulin resistance and therefore type 2 diabetes. Ironically, insulin resistance is a greater predictor and risk factor for heart disease than LDL cholesterol is. So tragically, and again, ironically, despite lowering cholesterol levels, by increasing insulin resistance, we may be making the problem even worse.
So I want to ask, and I saw Lucio made a comment in there that was around the time that they prescribed it. Let me see. I got a reply. It appears to be working now. Thank you. Okay. I take 10 meds in the morning and 13 at night, right? So how profound is that? So the company gives you a medication. Well, here's the other thing. They sell you a medication that makes you sicker, and then they sell you a medication for the sickness that it caused. It's a hell of a business strategy. Gina Milner. Let's listen to Dr. Ben Bickman, right? The guy that's a doctor. Okay. Who's heard of the Cleveland Clinic? We've got quite a few people on a lot of different platforms. Looks like we've got listeners on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Is there anybody listening to me that's from the medical community? If you are from the medical community, would you agree that the Cleveland Clinic is the top heart hospital in the United States? If you are from the medical community, would you agree? Sally says, yes, that's my favorite go-to hospital, the Cleveland Clinic. Tracy says, absolutely. Now, why do I bring up the Cleveland Clinic? Let's get back to the supplement that I talked about. This supplement that I talked about was developed by Rexall Pharmacy. Does anybody recall Rexall Pharmacy? Was at one point the largest pharmacy throughout North America. They had something like 11,600 stores in North America. And for reference, there's currently about 13,000 McDonald's. So about as frequently as you currently see a McDonald's, you would have seen a Rexall in its heyday. It is an amazing number. Founded in 1902, this is a 120-year-old company. Now, they are basically obsolete in the United States. They were crushed by corporate America, Walgreens and CVS. They are still really prominent throughout Canada, and we still do see them in the United States. However, they don't have the presence that they once had. They were independently owned, so you went and you talked to Bob and Sue. They owned that Rexall Pharmacy, right? It was not owned by Walgreens. So the Rexall Corporation developed this blend of fiber more than 30 years ago. In fact, about 35 years ago, they developed this blend of fiber. And I say blend. Remember, we need a wide variety of both soluble and insoluble fibers. They knew that. They developed a blend. This is a patented blend of fiber. There are 7 different types of fiber. There are 5 patents on this. Think about that. 5 patents on a blend of fiber. In addition to the fiber, they paired it with a multivitamin. So it's also got vitamin B, zinc, chromium, vitamin E, thiamine, niacin, riboflavin. It's got a ton of, it's a multivitamin. That combination, call it a fiber and multivitamin combination therapy, has been studied all over the world, including places like the Cleveland Clinic. In fact, in 2001, the Cleveland Clinic did a clinical validation study on this product right here. They found that it improved all of the major categories. It improved total cholesterol, triglycerides, HDL, LDL, overall body weight, glucose, ApoB. It improved all of them. Let's see. 5 patents. I need to order them. Anastasia, how are you? Anastasia, I know you've been following me on Facebook for quite a while. Bear with me. I'm going to show you here in just a moment, Anastasia, how to do it. But thank you for following me. I think you're following me on TikTok as well, right? I have not yet Just Bubbles. But, and I'm going to come back to that real quick, Just Bubbles. Just bear with me for another couple minutes. The glycemic index. We talked briefly about the glycemic index. Let me just show you this here real quick, okay? I'm going to turn on my camera, and we'll come over to here. And what I want to do is I want to go to here. This fiber multivitamin combination therapy, okay? This study was performed by the Preventative Cardiology section of the Cleveland Clinic Foundation, submitted November 15, 2001, and accepted February 14, 2002. And I said they found that it improved every major category. It improved LDL, total cholesterol, HDL, triglycerides, body weight, glucose, ApoB. It improved everything, okay? And they would go on to conclude, such a product, if taken regularly, could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis and potentially decrease the need and or dose for lipid-lowering prescription drugs. What we have is the top heart hospital in the United States suggesting that there's a solution and has been a solution for 35 years. Okay, now let's go to Google and ask Google, what is the home of the glycemic index? And it will tell you the University of Sydney, Australia. In fact, if you go to your web browser and type glycemicindex.com, it will take you to the University of Sydney. If you hit the About section of that, it will immediately talk about her. Her name is Professor Jenny Brand Miller. Now, Professor Jenny Brand Miller is a doctor. She's an internationally recognized authority on carbohydrates and the glycemic index with over 250 scientific publications. Why do I bring up Dr. Jenny Brand Miller at glycemicindex.com, the University of Sydney? It's because Dr. Jenny Brand Miller, while at the University of Sydney, studied the same product, the exact same product. And she found that it lowered the glycemic as well as the insulin index for all three test foods that they put in front of it, which coincidentally enough were the same ones that the Mayo Clinic mentioned: white rice, white bread, and potatoes. In this case, they are all high. Dr. Jenny Brand Miller found that that product from Rexall lowered those three foods right there into the medium glycemic index range. That is powerful. She studied it a second time, and she found that it lowered the overall blood glucose levels by 20 to 28% and the overall blood insulin levels by 13 to 27%. Dr. Jenny Brand Miller and her team at the University of Sydney, Australia, found that this product lowered blood glucose levels, lowered blood insulin levels, lowered the glycemic as well as the insulin index. The Cleveland Clinic found that it lowered LDL, total cholesterol, triglycerides, it rose HDL, it lowered body weight, it lowered glucose, it lowered ApoB. And again, these are not just run-of-the-mill places. These are the top institutions in the world. So with that in mind, Dr. Ben Bikman, the world's leading metabolic scientist, Dr. Benjamin Bikman, put his name into Google, you'll find 180,000 hits on insulin resistance. He is the director of the scientific advisory board for this company. What you have is a science-based company putting out a food-based product. It's got the clinical validation from places like the Cleveland Clinic, the University of Sydney, Australia. In fact, there are more than a dozen clinical validation studies on the products. It is published in the PDR, the Prescriber's Digital Reference. That's the Physician's Desk Reference. That was that Bible of a book. This thing. Remember this thing? Back in the day, you would go to your doctor's office and you'd get this book. This thing would be on his desk. Everybody remember this thing? It's in here. So, with that being said, this company offers a 90-day money-back guarantee. They guarantee that if you use their product consistently for 90 days, that you'll see results. You'll be satisfied. If you use it for 90 days, if you're not satisfied, if you don't see results, ask for your money back. They'll give you all of your money back. All of it. Okay? I hope that sets that up. By the way, it costs $154 per month. It's about $5 per day. Okay? So think about it like that. It costs about $5 per day to get your health back, to take back control of your health. If at the end of 90 days of using it consistently, you haven't seen any benefit, ask for all of the money back. They'll give it all back to you. What they are betting is that you will see a reduction in your glucose. You will see a reduction in your cholesterol. You will see a reduction in your blood pressure. You will see a reduction in your body weight. We are seeing people all over the place losing inches. It's crazy. So with that being said, understanding it's $154 a month. If you are interested in how to purchase the product, type the word interested. Aside from that, I'm pretty much done with the bulk of this live stream. Let's just transition over to a Q&A. Is there anybody that has any questions for me? Or if you're interested in how to buy the products, type the word interested, and I will transition over to there. Interested. Lucio says he's interested already. That didn't take long. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit challenging because we're on so many different platforms. I know that Anastasia, let's see, I talked to a woman the other day who said she was able to get off her Ozempic by taking them with a healthy diet. Yes, I was able to get off of Trulicity. Jess Bubbles is interested. Body Butter is interested. Okay, guys, here we go. So it's going to be a little bit challenging because I'm on so many different platforms, but every platform operates identically. If you're on Facebook and you go to my homepage on Facebook, you'll find a link, okay? If you're on TikTok and you go to my homepage on TikTok, you will find a link. What I'm going to do is actually, I don't know why I didn't think about this before. Bear with me a second. I am going to post that link in the comment section. I can do that a little bit differently now. Bear with me. I just got an idea. I love this idea. Skip link tree and go directly to. No, I don't want to do that. Let's see. I am copying the link right now. I think I'll be able to paste it into here. There it is. Okay. Can you guys all see that link? Is that clear? Take a screenshot. It's https://youfeelgreat.com/c/Amanda. If you copy and paste that into a web browser, you'll be able to order the product. When you do that, you'll get me as a coach. If you use that link right there, that is my wife and I's referral link, you'll get us. If you just navigate to the home page on any of my social media platforms, you'll also find the same website. Just click that link and it will navigate over to this. So with that in mind, is there anybody who wants to order the product but does not know how to? And if that is you, then type the word help. And you might want to just take a screenshot of that link. Melissa Miller, I love this. Melissa Miller, just do it. How are you, Melissa? I need to call you, actually. Melissa, will you do me a favor? And actually, I'm going to send you a text. Will you send me a text, Melissa? Oh, yeah. Here's the deal. If I order through you, you get it. Yes. Anastasia, you get a lifetime discount. You're buying it directly from the manufacturer. You're not buying it from me. You're buying it directly from the manufacturer, and you will get a lifetime discount. When you use that link, when you use this link here, you also get me as a coach. Okay? So if you guys would like, go ahead and take a screenshot of that link. And let's work on getting you healthy, Anastasia. Let's work on getting you healthy. And by the way, Anastasia is following me on Facebook. She is listening to me from Facebook. So I do a lot of live streams. I'm going to start. I like the way that this seems to be working. I seem to be getting good connectivity. I had that one little glitch where my chat quit working for a moment. But overall, I think this one's going considerably smoother than it has historically. So I think I'm going to try and start going live every single day across every social media platform that I have. I believe this has gone relatively smooth. Do you guys agree with that? Disagree with that? How do you feel like this has gone? And if that's the case, and you have a friend or family member that you would like to get this information, then share these live streams with them, okay? And more than that, Anastasia, if you order through my link, you're going to get your own link. And I'll put my link back up here again. You'll get your own link. So it costs $154 a month. But let's say that you've got great success with the product, which if you adhere to it, you're going to. And you've got your sister or your brother that could use the product as well. Here's what you do. You say, hey, my guy Jim goes live every single day. He'll tell you all about the product, and you should try it. But when you order it, use my link, don't use Jim's. And what's going to happen is we'll both get credit. You will get credit. You'll get a $10 discount, and I'll get credit. And that's just a great little referral system. Kate Rose, how are you? And Anastasia, great. That is awesome. Kate Rose and user 5109, I see Tanya asked. Kate Rose asked, here to learn what you did to get rid of your discoloration. And user 5109 asked, what's causing the skin tags? Both great questions. I've got a video that's going somewhat viral on TikTok right now. And it seems like I always get a lot of these questions at the end of my live stream. It's kind of funny. Kate and user 5109, right now we are live across, I believe, 8 different platforms. Actually, I can tell you which ones I'm live on right now. We are live on Twitter, Instagram, DLive, MX Cloud, probably never heard of those, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So we're live on 8 different streams right now. The beauty of that is you can go back and watch this live stream on any one of those platforms, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, because the live stream, once it's up, it stays up there. So you'll be able to go back and watch this live stream on one of those, or you can come back tomorrow, and I do a live stream every single day. So I learned more during your live. I learned more during your live than I have ever learned through my health provider. That's powerful. And thank you. Thank you. I try very hard. I keep looking into the wrong camera. I apologize. Let me just do this. That way I'll just look into the right camera. Can't do that. Anastasia. Now, Anastasia has been following me on Facebook. And what I'm doing a lot of on Facebook, give me a follow on Facebook. I am just peppering Facebook with information from Dr. Andrew Huberman, from Dr. Mark Hyman, from Dr. Ken Berry, from Dr. Lufkin, from Dr. Bickman, from Dr. I'm just my entire, and Anastasia, would you agree with that? I'm just peppering my feed with information from doctors, okay? And if you're looking for that type of content, my Facebook feed is becoming a lot of that. Is there anybody, Lucio? And by the way, Lucio, am I saying that right? Is it Lucio? Or Lucio? Lucio? Probably Lucio, huh? Is there anybody that wants to order the system but does not know how to? And if that is you, then type the word help, and I will know exactly what you are asking for. If you type the word help, I will know that you're looking, you want to order the product, but you don't know how to. Okay, Lucio, is the Lucio like an S or a CH? How about that? Do I pronounce it like an S or a CH? And I'm going to put my link back up here again. Kate Rose, you are welcome. Heading over to Facebook to check you out. Kate, awesome, awesome. And I do a live stream pretty much every, okay, Lucio. Lucio, can you take a screenshot of that link real quick? Can you see that link? you'llfeelgreat.com/C/Amanda. Amanda, by the way, is my wife. Insulin resistance and diabetes causes it. Fix your insulin resistance, 100%. Okay, so Lucio, once you take that screenshot, just type that into a web browser, and it'll take you right there. In fact, Lucio, why don't you do that right now? Make sure that you get there. It should, when you're done, say something like, and actually, here we go. One other thing you can do, Lucio, and I'll do this right now. This is going to be a little bit challenging, but can you all see my phone? If you go up here to the top left, if you're on TikTok, this is not the same on TikTok, but because Lucio is on TikTok, if you tap that little picture of me, wow, that gets a little bit crazy. If you tap that picture of me, it will pop up that thing across the middle of my screen. If you tap then that picture of me, that will take you to my home page. At my home page, you will find that link right there. If you click that link, that will take you over to the same Lucio. Okay? Cool. Keith Bonnie, how are you, brother? You're welcome, Lucio. Also, for everybody, Anastasio, Lucio, anybody that is going to order the product, you'll be expecting a text from me. I'm going to text you personally. I'm going to send you a text that comes from my own personal phone number. And that text is going to be, from my personal, it'll have my phone number, but it's some videos to watch. It is some instructions, some Facebook groups to join, my Facebook group, and then a friend of mine's Facebook group that has about 15 or 16,000 people in it right now. And I want to say, Judy, how are you? You're like just getting into it, Judy. You're about a week in. Guys, if you're on Facebook, you'll see this 1, 2, 3 to get healthy. This is a friend of mine, Tanya. Tanya found my live stream somewhere around last April. And I always goof this up, Tanya, but somewhere around April, May, something like that. She got on the system and has had absolutely amazing results. Absolutely amazing results. She's now talking about it similar to the way that I am. Give that page, 1, 2, 3 to get healthy, a follow on Facebook. Let's get that Facebook page. May, she says. Husband wants to get rid of his skin tags. How do you do it? You reverse your insulin resistance. Glenda. I do a live stream every single day, and I think I'm going to start live streaming regularly across all of the major social media platforms. Right now, I'm live on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, DLive, MXCloud, and I feel like I'm missing one other one, on Twitter, YouTube. On Twitter, on YouTube, and on Facebook, I am at The Real Jim BBQ, and I'll type that up here as well, at The Real Jim BBQ. You can search on that right there at The Real Jim BBQ in every social media platform, and you'll find me. If you go to Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, you'll be able to find this very live stream that I'm doing right now, and you'll be able to watch it from the get-go. Or tomorrow, if you'd like to be able to interact with me and ask questions while I'm giving the live, you can join that live stream, and I interact with my audience all throughout the live stream. Lori asks, was I in Hawaii? Yes, I was. I've been fortunate. I I've been fortunate. Yes, I have. Judy. So Judy is new to the system. Judy, how long have you been on the system? I think it's inside of a week, right? And Lori, I've talked to you. I would love to be able to take you to these places as well, Lori. Is that interesting to you, Lori? 4 days, Judy. And you're 4 days. So Judy is 4 days in. How do you feel? How do you feel, Lori? I mean, Judy. You're only 4 days into the system. Awesome, Lucio. I will send you a text letting you know. It's going to have some instructions. Spend some time. Lucio, more than anything, go into this with a 90-day mindset, okay? What I want from you is that good old-fashioned college try. Give me the best effort that you can. Adhere to the protocol, and you will see results, okay? You will. It's just going to happen. That is awesome. Stephen Gambino, already dropping pounds. Judy, 2 pounds down, feel great. The longer I fast, the better I feel. Isn't that crazy, Judy? Now, Judy, you're a nurse, correct? I believe. Stephen, already dropping pounds. And how do you feel, Stephen? So Judy is interesting because you have, I asked the question, you're a nurse, right? And she says yes. Judy, this is all information that you were taught. You were familiar with insulin resistance. I mean, you're a medical professional and you were familiar with insulin resistance going into this. Is that accurate? Stephen says, I'm sick today. Here's an interesting little tidbit, Stephen. Oftentimes, and I'm not sure why, but oftentimes people will say, I'm not going to take Balance while I'm sick. I'm not going to do the program. And I say, why not? Balance is an amazing multivitamin. If you're sick, you need vitamins. There is a lot of vitamins in Balance. It's what makes Balance so special. Take your Balance during this, okay? You'll feel tons better. How do you get rid of skin tags? BBY Leslie. This entire live stream has been based on that, okay? How to do that. Long story short, it's reversing insulin resistance. Short story long, I do a live stream every single day. Okay, I'm wrapping this live. I'm kind of at the end of this live stream. I will do another one tomorrow. However, what's really cool about this particular live stream is it's being streamed across 8 different social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Okay, and on all 3 of those, once it has streamed to them, it stays on them. So you can go find me on Twitter. You can go find me on Facebook or YouTube, and you can watch this entire live stream in its entirety on those platforms. You won't be able to interact with me, obviously, but if you'd like to come back tomorrow, you will be able to interact with me during a live. So I would check that out. Awesome. So, Stephen, you're not on the system. You're just adhering. Are you just adhering to my protocol, Stephen? Judy says, familiar with it, but honestly, we don't practice that in the hospital. We just shove more insulin. Judy, knowing what you know now, isn't that awful? No, just knowing what you know now. It's just awful, isn't it? Stephen, I love that. Started with the intermittent fasting. Skin tags are the bane of my existence this pregnancy. Michelle, you are pregnant and you have skin tags. The skin tags are just now appearing. Is that accurate, Michelle White? Your skin tags are the bane of your existence this pregnancy. Are you currently pregnant? Okay. So Michelle says, yes, she is currently pregnant. Here's the deal, Michelle. You have skin tags are caused by insulin resistance. Insulin resistance will lead to things like type 2 diabetes, dementia, heart disease, stroke, and those sorts of things. I'm not trying to put the scare tactic into you. However, if you are showing signs of the insulin resistance physically in your skin tags, that means that you are living in a relatively hyperinsulinemic state, elevated insulin. You are developing a fetus right now, and that fetus is living in the same elevated insulin state. Now, it could develop into something like gestational diabetes. We don't want that, right? But more than anything, we don't really want your baby swimming in insulin. What happens when that happens, those babies, their pancreases start to develop more beta cell pores than a typical baby would, and they are born easily hyperinsulinemic. And there are a lot of side effects that are caused by hyperinsulinemia and insulin resistance. So, Michelle, what I would really suggest you do is, well, Michelle says, my OB said hormones cause those skin tags. Insulin is the most active hormone in your body. So yeah, she's right. Insulin is a hormone. What I would suggest you do, Michelle, is watch, find me on Facebook. And folks, for those that don't know, let me put my tag up here. You can find me on, can everybody see this at The Real Jim BBQ? Can everybody see that? Huh. Okay. Can everybody see that at The Real Jim BBQ? Because if you go to Twitter, if you go to Facebook, if you go to YouTube, if you go to really any major social media platform, this one here, TikTok for you, Michelle, you can find me at The Real Jim BBQ. If you go to Facebook, if you go to YouTube, if you go to Twitter, this live stream right now, this very live stream right now is being streamed to those platforms as well. And when I'm done with this, unlike TikTok, when I'm done with this live stream, it kind of disappears on TikTok. It stays on YouTube. It stays on Facebook. It stays on Twitter. So you can go find me on one of those platforms. While you're there, give me a follow. Okay. And watch this live stream. I think it will be valuable information to you, Michelle. If you are already showing signs of insulin resistance, you need to deal with it, especially as a mother who is, you got a baby in utero. And I love Squishalicious. Just typed this. I had gestational diabetes. It was so very hard to stabilize my son's insulin after. And blood sugar. If you are hyperinsulinemic right now, if you are elevated insulin, if you are insulin resistant as a mother carrying a baby, you are passing that on to the baby. Let's get that under control. And Michelle, it's not medications, it's diet. Diet. Okay? Watch the live stream and work on your diet, clean up your diet, eat healthy, eat for that baby. Let's see. I missed that comment, but Squishalicious. I love the name, by the way. It's not always weight. Usually it doesn't have anything to do with weight. Interestingly enough, insulin is a store of fat. So when you are hyperinsulinemic and your cells are not responding to the insulin, the insulin has to store the glucose, and so it stores it in the form of fat. So if you want to lose weight, if you want to see the fat melt, stop being hyperinsulinemic. That's what this system does. It focuses on that. It's a side effect. Now, one of the other side effects of being hyperinsulinemic is skin tags. So these are just symptoms of a problem called insulin resistance. Deal with the root cause, insulin resistance, and you will see the symptoms get much, much better. You'll see the weight, the fat just kind of melt off of you. You'll see those skin tags. Literally, mine just fell off. I woke up and they weren't there. My type 2 diabetes went away. Gina, today is day 4 on the system. Fasting blood sugar was always so high. Today was 110. It's never been under 155. Gina, how do you feel? How do you feel? Brenda, how are you? I love that. I'm reading comments here. Gina, is everybody reading that comment right there from Gina Milner? Today was day 4 on the system. Fasting blood sugar was always so high. Today was 110. Today, 4 days in, 110. It's never been under 155. Day 2 was horrible, but I felt so good since. Was that just gastrointestinal stuff, Gina? I want to come back here. Let's see. Judy, do you modify your meals during the 8-hour eating window? What do you eat? Judy, I always recommend we try and eat better, okay? I watched a few videos where Dr. Ben Bickman talked about what he ate throughout the day, and I've kind of used that as my guiding light towards my diets, okay? When I break my fast, I oftentimes break my fast at noon with breakfast, break fast, right? Bacon and eggs. Bacon and eggs are an excellent source of protein and no carbs whatsoever. I buy a nice thick cut. I really like the Wright brand, W-R-I-G-H-T brand bacon. I like it's thick. It cooks up well, and there's not a whole bunch of crap in the curing. And then eggs. I'm buying, I forget the name of the brand, but they're free range chickens. And my eggs are coming brown and blue and white. I like that brand. Happy Eggs, I think is what they're called. And I'll have like 6 eggs and like 4 pieces of bacon, sometimes 6 pieces of bacon, whatever I'm hungry for. And I feel full. 0 carbs. I'm keeping my glucose down. I'm getting an excellent source of healthy fats. And then at dinner, I generally go with a Mediterranean style dinner, generally. And that would be a lean protein, a whole grain carbohydrate, and a vegetable, and then a salad. So I like to eat a lot of fish. And fish is actually, depends on the fish, but good fats. I like that. So I eat a lot of fish. Salmon is wonderful for you. If you like salmon, salmon is wonderful for you. I like grouper. I like orange roughy. I just like fish. So I eat a lot of fish. As far as the whole grains go, if I'm going, and I say if I'm going to have, I don't have every single day, but if I'm going to have a carbohydrate with my dinner, it is always a whole grain. Quinoa, farro, barley, something of the like. And then I will always pair it with a cruciferous vegetable like broccoli or Brussels sprouts, something like that, and then a salad. I like Caesar salads. I'm also a big fan of chef salads. I would really look for I don't put the croutons on the Caesar, and I would look for, try and find a dressing that does not have seed oils. Those seed oils are awful for us. I hope that answers your question, Judy. That would be a typical day for me. Every now and then I splurge. My wife and I love pizza. We'll go out and get our pizza. But that kind of represents a typical day for me. Stephanie Chavez Jones. How are you, Stephanie? I like the big bubbles typewriting. Takes over the whole phone. But by type 2 diabetes. I love this. How are you, Stephanie? I haven't talked to you in a long time. I miss you. I hope you're well. Let's see. Let me keep going. Lori Davis, I got in here late. What caused those things you mentioned? Because I have them. Lori, you have the skin tags, the darkening or discoloration of the skin. The darkening or discoloration of the skin is called acanthosis nigricans. I'm assuming you just saw that video of mine on TikTok that's going a little bit viral right now. Those are caused by insulin resistance. If you want them to go away, work on your insulin resistance. Now, I do a live stream every single day. You're more than welcome to come and join my live stream tomorrow. If you want an answer today, this particular live stream, the one that we're in right now, is being sent across 8 different social media platforms, including Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. On all 3 of those platforms, you can watch this live in its entirety. You can just go and start it from the beginning, and it'll watch the entire thing. You won't be able to interact with me, obviously, but if you'd like, you can go watch that, or you can come back and listen to me live tomorrow, and we can interact with each other, whatever's best. Also, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, don't ever hesitate to send me a text or a direct message on whatever social media platform you're on. I respond to all of them. Squishalicious. Happy to have found you. I shall check out your stuff. Super interested. Back to work for me now. Wonderful. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for the kind words. I'm glad you found me as well. It's amazing what social media does for us, right? Gina, if those GI issues continue, Gina says it was gastrointestinal issues. Day number 2 was a little bit rough for you. Chances are, if you're listening to me, and I know you have some glucose issues, you've already talked about that in this comment section. Those glucose issues they start with your gut. Your gut is unhealthy. You're now throwing a really good fiber at an unhealthy gut. It's not uncommon to see that. That comes through like a wrecking ball. And you might find yourself with some bloating or some loose stool, something like that. It typically is resolved within the first week. Now, every now and then, people might say that I don't know if I can do this. It's bad. I can't leave my house. I don't want that. You don't want that. If that does happen to you, it's quite simple. Instead of taking a full pack, take a half pack. Okay? Do a half packet before each meal in the same amount of water. Do that for a week or so, and gradually work yourself up to a full packet. 99.99% of the time, that fixes the problem. Also, Gina, you have my phone number. Why didn't you text me? You've got my phone number. That's why I gave it to you, was to text me. What's the answer to the skin tags? Holly Ann, I hope you already heard my answer there. Okay, Gina, I agree. My fasting blood sugars were 190s, now 140s after 4 days. Guys, look at that. Judy, okay, now Judy Kovac is an interesting one because Judy is a medical professional. She's a nurse and has been. I forget what you said, Judy, but I think it was like 20, 25 years, something like that. You're not a new nurse. You've been doing this for some time. Judy, have you ever seen anything like this before? Have you ever seen, in all of your medical career, have you ever seen healing like this? It's my question to you, Judy. Have you ever seen healing like this before? Portland steak. I'm struggling with overnight and morning high sugar levels, even though I haven't eaten anything bad. Portland slee steak, how are you? By the way, Portland slee steak, I keep goofing that up. You guys, if you're in that Portland area, you should give Portland slee steak a follow. He's kind of a celebrity. You'll see him out on the streets. I believe it's like a dragon costume or something like that. The kids love him. He's kind of a big deal there. Give him a follow and check out his stuff. And if you're in that Portland area, look for him. Look for him on the streets. Okay, but to answer your question, Portland, overnight and morning high blood sugar levels. Let's talk about something called dawn phenomenon. So what happens is you've not eating, right? You stop eating at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. You stay up for a couple hours, then you go to bed and you're sleeping and your blood sugar starts to rise. Why? Why is that happening, right? How many people experience that? They're like, what the hell's going on? The dawn phenomenon. D-A-W-N, as in morning, as in rising of the sun, dawn, right? The opposite of dusk, dawn phenomenon. Your body is trying to wake itself up. You're in deep sleep, you're in REM sleep, and your body is starting to say, hey, we've got a day coming at us. We've got to wake up. We've got to start snapping out of that sleep, got to start getting the systems going. We're doing this cold start on the motor and firing it up and letting that body get ready for the day. What does it do? It goes to your liver and says, hey, you're storing a bunch of glucose. Put some of that into the bloodstream. That glucose is going to go out. It's going to get your cells. It's going to start charging your body up. It's doing what it's supposed to do. However, you are insulin resistant. And that little phenomenon right there, referred to as the dawn phenomenon, it's like having a slice of wedding cake at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Of course, your blood sugars are going to be high. It's not uncommon. Portland Slee Steak, send me a text, and I'm going to send you a video from Dr. Ken Berry. Dr. Ken Berry is, you may have heard of him. I think he's well over 1 million followers on YouTube. And in this video, he talks about this exact phenomenon, okay? And it will put your mind at ease. What you will notice is that as you become more and more and more insulin sensitive, that number will decrease. You'll also notice that that number is heavily driven by what you ate last night. Now, last night, yesterday would have been my in-laws' 51st anniversary. My father-in-law passed away about 4.5 years ago. And my mother-in-law wanted to spend the day with my daughter and the family. And so she chose a Mexican restaurant. I live in Colorado where there are Mexican restaurants all over. There's a good one by our house. And we went there for dinner. I'm not going to say no. It's a good day. That's what we do. We go and spend time with our family. Well, last night I went and had a burrito, and it was served with white rice. I mean, there were carbs just everywhere on this plate. I took a double balance, right? 2 of these. You can do that. I took 2 of these and about twice the water. I also took 2 berberine, and my glucose never really went above like 145-ish, which I think is a big win. That's a great win. At about 2:30 this morning, it hit 181. Just slow dumping. And then when I'm not exercising at all, it shot up on me. 181 this morning. I woke up with a little bit of a higher. I think I was 125-ish this morning when I woke up, but it's because of what I ate last night. That doesn't happen all the time. If I have a heavy carb, if my wife and I go out for sushi, white rice, I'll get that higher morning reading. If I have bacon and eggs at night, I'll wake up with a 95 glucose. So a couple things to kind of keep in mind, but if you send me a text, I will respond to the text with the video from Dr. Ken Berry, and it should put your mind at ease. I hope that answers kind of your question, Portland. Okay, Tracy says he will reply. Paula, hi there. How, let's see, where to get the balance? Paula, there is a link in my bio. Do you know how to get to my homepage on TikTok, Paula? You're watching me from TikTok. Do you know how to get to my homepage? Johnny Rocket, I suffer from dawn phenomenon and have for years. Just happens, man. I hope that explanation kind of helped you through that. What is your postprandial numbers looking like now, Johnny? I do. My blood sugar was 280 this morning. I struggle with snacking at night. Sassy. Do you know that the snacking is bad for you? Just give me a yes or no. Do you know that the snacking is bad for you? My doctor put me on 25 units of, that's insulin, correct, Johnny? Your doctor has you on insulin. that insulin is causing the problem. Are you new to my live stream, Johnny? How are you, Blessing? How are you today? Let's see. Tracy, why do you still wear your sensor? I wear my sensor because I want to know what my glucose is doing all the time. Dr. Bickman wears a sensor. Paula, I forget my question to you, Paula. Sassy, if you know that it's bad for you, then stop doing it. And I know that sounds so like, oh, this guy on TikTok is just telling me to just stop. You ever heard of type 3 diabetes, Sassy? Type 3 diabetes is insulin resistance of the brain. That's dementia. That's Alzheimer's. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. Take some self-control right now, or you put yourself at great risk for type 3 diabetes. And nobody wants that at all, right? I don't imagine you want that at all. That's one of the most terrifying things in the world, is losing that, right? Take control of it. Reach out to me. Sassy, are you on the system? Sassy, are you on the system, on the product? I'm diabetic, been suffering 3 weeks with diverticulitis, very painful. Okay, Paula, you do not want to order this. I mean, you can order it right now, but you don't want to take this with an active diverticulitis flare-up, okay? However, if you go Google, what is the best preventative measure for diverticulitis? Well, what will prevent diverticulitis in the future is fiber. So once this flare-up is over, this is one of the best things for you, okay? Don't want to put it into you right now, but I would absolutely, you are a diabetic, this will help. Not at this exact second because you're in an active flare-up with diverticulitis, but once this flare-up is over with, start this program. And if you're curious about the program, did you just join this live stream? And if you just joined the live stream, I do a live stream every single day. If you did not just join this live stream, or if you just joined it, right? It's being simulcast across Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can find me on all three of those at The Real Jim BBQ. I'm typing it right now. If you type that at The Real Jim BBQ into Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, you'll be able to find me. It's also as The Healthy Pitmaster right here. You can find me on all three of them, The Healthy Pitmaster. It's got my profile picture in it. Go and you'll be able to watch this exact live stream in its entirety. Or you can join me tomorrow and interact with me during the live stream. I'm type 2 on 3 meds by mouth, not the shots. Mine is staying 350, 400. Wendy, are you winning or losing? Right now, under the current protocol, are you winning or are you losing? Andy, how long have you been listening to this live stream? Wendy, if you're losing, try something different. What is the definition of insanity? My grandfather taught me that one when I was a kid. What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting different results. You're on your 3rd medication. This system will help. If it doesn't, they will give you all of your money back. They're guaranteeing you'll see results. Try something new. Okay? Andy. Okay. You just got diagnosed insulin resistant. Guess what? 88% of America is insulin resistant. You are not alone. 9 out of 10 of us are insulin resistant. In fact, 88%, I got that statistic from Dr. Ben Bickman. Dr. Mark Hyman is suggesting 93% of us are insulin resistant. You're not alone. When 9 out of 10 of us fail a test, is it because we're stupid or is it because the test wasn't fair? listen to my live streams. My live streams are directly dedicated to helping people overcome insulin resistance. I do a live stream every single day. And as I was just telling somebody a moment ago, if you wanted to watch this very live stream that we're in right now, go to @TheRealJimBBQ. You can type that into Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, and you'll be able to watch this entire live stream in its entirety from start to finish. It's probably pretty boring because you're not actually interacting, but you could do that. And then the other thing you could do is join my live stream tomorrow, and I'll be able to interact with you, or do both. Carnivore diet it makes perfect sense. By the way, your friend suggests carnivore diet. It makes perfect sense. Do you never want to ever have a piece of bread again? And that's where I think the carnivore diet fails, is if you have the mental fortitude to say, I will never have a carbohydrate again, it works. But if that's too strict for you, that's where it fails. Now, I've got friends that are carnivore. They're very strict carnivore, and they've had amazing results. In fact, they're both on the same product that I spend a lot of time talking about, and they have had amazing results. But the carnivore thing for me is just too much. It's too hard. And I will point out, let's see, it's over here. This wall right here are trophies that I've earned along the way on the Kansas City Barbecue Society Professional Competitive Barbecue Tour. I love cooking meat. I'm like a carnivore at heart, but I also like pizza. I also like bread. So I hope that kind of gets at you, Andy. Let me see. I'm losing, but this is the first time here. Let's see. Down just 25 units. I'm up to 40 units of INRA. INRA. Did you catch what I just said about me doing a live stream every single day, or being able to rewatch this live stream on other social media platforms? I have the darkening and a couple of tags. This, the same thing is going to come to you, Miss Royal. I do this every single day. Wendy, give me 90 days. What have you got? Give me 90 days. What have you got to lose, Wendy? At this point, what have you got to lose? I haven't had a flare-up of diverticulitis since I started Unicity. I'm no longer on metformin. Charles, thank you. That is awesome. How are you? My husband been on this for 2 months, but not really losing his belly fat. Is he doing it wrong? Okay, so 2 questions. Is he in contact with his coach? Who is his coach? And for those that are just kind of listening and just joining in, if you used my link, I would be your coach. Okay. Who is your husband's coach? And are they in contact? The beauty of that coach is they get to know you, or your husband in this case, and they get to working with you and trying to help with that. Andy, I also have mast cell activation syndrome. Okay. Andy, the rice is awful. The rice is awful. Get away from the rice. I don't like meat. Do you suggest a protein powder? Paula, I suggest whole food. I never suggest a protein powder. Your best source of protein is animal-based proteins. Dr. Bickman, that's his words, not mine. I don't want to get the vegans and the vegetarians coming at me. I'm not trying to insult anybody. Dr. Ben Bickman, one of the world's leading metabolic scientists, is the one that says animal-based protein is the best fat to ratio mix. If you're not going to do that, if you're going to stick to avoiding the meats, then I would say go to whole plant-based foods. Avoid the processed foods. Avoid the powders. Eat food. Eat food. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Um, Judy, yes, I'm in the Kansas City Barbecue Society, but there is a group of about 5 of us here in Colorado, and GQ Barbecue is a good friend of mine. You guys might have heard of GQ. If you guys are looking for a great YouTube barbecue channel, GQ Barbecue, his name is Jason. Jason and I are good friends, and Jason, another guy, Ryan, who is Backdraft Barbecue, another guy, Jeff Jabat, Chef Jeff. There are a few of us that we're going to put together a team from Colorado and go and compete at Memphis in May. None of our pits really fit the Memphis in May thing because we don't do whole hogs where I cook. I don't ever do a whole hog. I have a big pit. I have a really beautiful pit, but it's not built for whole hogs. But you might just see us in Memphis at some point, a group of Colorado teams, all building one team and trying our hand out there. Okay, INRA, you say, yes, you got that. Watch the video, watch the live stream, rejoin me. Let's see, absolutely nothing. I'm willing to try it. Thank you. I'm going to try and go watch your videos. Wendy, there is a link, by the way, to Wendy's comment right here. Is there anybody that wants to buy the system but does not know how to? And if that is you, then type the word help. Type the word help, and I will drop everything and help you, okay? And by the way, can you guys see these comments as I'm popping them up there? It's kind of getting messy because of the other comments, right? Charles, I am wonderful, 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 wonderful. I am living my best life. Charles, how long are you at on the system now? Andy says, I know it's so bad. The doc told me it was hereditary, and I tried everything she prescribed. Then learned it's not. Fired her. There you go. Paula, you're welcome. Okay, let's see. I live in Kansas City, but from Colorado. Denver, Dutchess. I am just north of Denver. Maybe you know where Longmont's at. I'm in that area. 16th, is that where we're at? 16,000 likes? That's awesome. Skin tags and discoloration. Gia, bear with me a moment. I have 2 barbecue contests. Oh, wait, Judy, are you a competitive cook? Let's see. Help. Paula, I got you. Okay. Gia. Bear with me, Gia. I'm going to answer you in just a moment. Just an eater, Judy. Okay. Okay, so to Paula. Paula, do you know how to get to my homepage on TikTok? And this is going to speak true across all platforms. So right now we've got listeners on Facebook, Twitter, and or I guess X. I'm sorry, I should call it X, and Twitch. So across all platforms, okay, there is a link in my bio on all of the major platforms. Now I'm going to show Twitch because it's just easiest. Okay, so with that being said, this is my live stream right now. Okay, now up in the upper, I guess, left-hand corner, there is a picture of me, and it says The Healthy Pitmaster. Do you see that? When you do, if you tap that picture of me, it will bring up, let me turn this off real quick. When you do that, it will bring up this image right here. Now, tap that picture of me again, right there, and that will take you to my home page. In my home page, you will find that link right there. Okay, it says Linktree / The Healthy Pitmaster. If you click that, that is my Linktree. And it's running a little bit slow, but that very first link right there is it. Okay, you tap that. That's where you order. I'm going to go ahead and type my, let's see. And that link is in every major social media platform, okay? So regardless of which platform you're on, that link is there. The link that I just kind of shared across the comments right there, that is on every one of them. Okay, you can just screenshot that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it says https://youfeelgreat.com/c/Amanda. Amanda is my wife, my much better half. Okay. Paula, Inra, are you guys in a good place? Do you feel comfortable with how to order? Okay, guys, it costs about $5 a day. It costs about $5 a day, $154 per month plus tax. They offer a 90-day money-back guarantee. If at the end of 90 days you're not satisfied, ask for a refund. They will give you all of your money back, all of it, 100% of it. Okay, so much better half. Mike calls me his mean half. Okay. Angel in the City, as well as Skin Tags, please help. All right, Angel, I am talking directly to you. Let me go up and pin your previous comment. Skin Tags, please help. Angel, you're being peppered with skin tags. Is that accurate? For everybody that's just now coming into this live stream, you're from TikTok anyway, you're probably just joining because I've got a video that's kind of going viral saying if you have skin tags or darkening or discoloration of the skin, let's go talk about it, right? They are caused by insulin, Kyula Jones. I can always tell when that video starts popping in TikTok because everybody starts coming in asking about skin tags. So to everybody that's just now joining, okay, everybody that's just now joining, they are caused by insulin resistance. Okay, that term, insulin resistance. Your cells are no longer responding to insulin in the way that they should. They are resistant to the insulin. And what happens then? They don't get their sugar, glucose, fuel, whatever you want to call it. And when that happens, things start to go astray. Now, insulin is also a growth hormone, so skin tags, growth. You are insulin resistant. Now, skin tags are just more of a nuisance, right? You're like, golly, what are these little things? Get off of me. Go to the dermatologist, pay $800 to have them lasered off, and then 6 months later, guess what's back? They're back. Why? Because you never dealt with the root cause. The root cause is insulin resistance. Now, the root cause is not, or the symptom of the skin tags isn't where it stops, right? Some of you are coming in saying, I have a darkening or discoloration of the skin around my neck or armpits, inner thighs, maybe on your face, behind your eyes, right? Maybe you've got some of that. That is called acanthosis nigricans. It's caused by the exact same thing, insulin resistance. Guess what else is caused by the exact same thing? Type 2 diabetes, obesity, type 3 diabetes, also known as Alzheimer's disease. If you have those skin tags, if you have that darkening or discoloration of the skin, and you don't have type 2, know that the same thing that causes type 2 is inside of you, and your body is giving you little signs that you have a problem. Deal with it now before it gets out of hand. My live stream is dedicated to reversing insulin resistance. I do a live stream every single day. Every single day. Now, if you want to watch this live stream, you don't want to watch until you don't want to wait until tomorrow, this live stream is going across TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, DL Live, MX Cloud, and YouTube. If you go to Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, they don't pull the live stream down after I've done it. They leave it up. So you can go to any one of those and watch this live stream in its entirety, okay? You can watch this live stream in its entirety, or you can come back tomorrow and interact with me. And if you interact with me, I'm able to answer your questions on the fly. Or if you want an answer today and you don't want to wait till tomorrow, you can go watch this live stream in its entirety on any one of those 3 platforms. You can find me, I'll type it up here I'll type it up. Let's see. There it is, at The Real Jim BBQ. If you go into Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, you can find me at The Real. And by the way, if you are on YouTube or you're watching me, like right now, we've got people watching from Twitter as well as Twitch. If you look for me on TikTok, you'll find me at The Real Jim BBQ. So, and if you are on Twitter, by the way, I guess I should go over to Twitter real quick. And I'm curious if I'm missing any comments. Bear with me. I'm going to check my Twitter feed. For some reason, Twitter does not give me the comments here. So I'm going to go and just check and see if there are any comments. I apologize, guys. Bear with me for just a moment. Okay. I just want to make sure that there were no comments on Twitter. Okay. I'm looking at my live stream on Twitter. I don't see any comments. Okay. I didn't want to miss any comments on Twitter. It doesn't, the Twitter comments don't show for me. Okay. So, let me get caught up. I'm getting married in June and need to get rid of them. Leslie, it's easy. Get on this. Get on this system. Makes so much sense what you just said. I'm on TikTok. Hello from San Antonio, Texas. How are you, Yvonne? Okay, guys, is there anybody that wants to, Andrea Lynn, get on what system? Is there anybody that wants to get on the system that wants to order the product but does not know how to? If you want to, but you don't know how to, type the word help. If you type the word help, I'll know exactly what you're talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about whatsoever, I am getting ready to wrap up this live stream. Not a big deal. I do a live every single day. You'll be able to come back and interact with me tomorrow. In addition to that, you can also go and watch this live on one of those other platforms. You can watch this exact live stream and get caught up there. Andrea, I hope that kind of answers your question. So if there's anybody that wants to order the system, does not know how to, type the word help and I'll know exactly what you're talking about. Boys, I am going to start wrapping it up. Okay, Andrea. I followed you. I'll check in next time. Definitely interested. Andrea, is it Andrea or Andrea? Give me a follow on every, and everybody listening to me right now, give me a follow on every social media platform. Okay. If you are friends with somebody, if you're on the system, let's say that you are, I'm going to pick on RR Wife 08, and I know she already does recommend the system to her friends, but Charles Morris, you're on the system. You're having some pretty amazing results. You're having some pretty amazing results already. You want to refer this system out. You're not going to go out and actively sell it. You just say, hey, man, my guy Jim, he does a live stream every single day. And they're like, but I'm not on TikTok. That's fine. He does it on YouTube. He does it on Facebook. Look up at The Real Jim BBQ. Give him a follow. When he goes live, you'll be able to see his lives. Okay? Okay. Added you on Instagram as well. I have no other social media. Have a great day. Andrea, you as well. Okay, guys, I am going to go ahead and wrap this one up. It's about 1:15 here in Denver. I get to go break my fast. I'm going to go eat. I'm going to have some bacon and eggs today because I love bacon and eggs. And my bacon, I need to finish it. I'll do a live again tomorrow. Again, give me a follow on every social media platform right here. Charles, I tell everyone I see. I love that, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. If it's something you're interested in, and we're seeing, by the way, real quick, before I wrap up, there have been some people that have made some pretty amazing statements about what this system has done for them in a very short period of time. In a very short period, like inside of 4 days, blood glucose numbers are way, way down. If you have been on this system, I don't care if it's for a week or 6 months, would you do me a favor and real quick, just put in the comments a brief little blurb of what the system has done for you and maybe how long you've been on the system. 4 days, this is what's happened. 6 months, this is what happened. 1 year, this is what's happened. If you'll just do that real quick, and I'm going to highlight those comments. I'll share those across all of the social media platforms that I'm live on right now. And what I'm hoping is that everybody who is on the fence, if you are saying, I don't know if I trust this or not, listen to these comments as they start to pop up. And please don't leave me hanging. Tanya says, adios. Okay, Tanya Lee. In 10 months, took my A1C from 10 to 5. Oh, she's on it for 10 months. Took my A1C from 10 to 5.6 in 6 months. Off diabetes and blood pressure medication. Cholesterol's good, down 32 pounds. User 6214. Feel better after 2 months. More energy. Judy, 4 days. This is amazing. If you're on the fence, this one's pretty crazy. Judy, 4 days fasting, blood sugar's down from 190s to 140. 4 days. 190 to 140s in 4 days, guys. That is absolutely amazing. Eric Null, how are you, Eric? 1 week so far, helping with appetite and energy so far. So far, so good. No complaints yet. You're not going to have any complaints, man. That yet part. You're not going to have any. I just started Ozempic 3 months ago. I don't want to do it. Ugh. Don, look at these results. This is 4 days on an all-natural plant-based product. Okay. This is 4 days in on an all-natural plant-based product. This is 10 months in on the same product. Okay. RR wife. This is Tracy. 60 days, down 17 pounds and 13.5 inches. Sleeping better. Energy is through the roof. Brain fog is gone. In addition to that, Tracy, would you put a blurb up about your husband, Mike? Because Mike has had a pretty amazing story as far as his type 2 diabetes. Judy, Dawn. Let's see. Let's go here real quick. Feltz Williams. My sugar is perfect. My blood pressure is perfect. And I have the dark spots. Doctor cut off skin tags. You don't have them anymore. Felt Williams, how long have you been on the system? Dawn Michelle, where do I learn more about it? Dawn, here's the deal. I do a live stream every single day. You are watching me. Dawn, I'm getting a lot of questions on this. Dawn is watching me on TikTok, as is Angel. What if I don't need to lose weight? You're not going to just whittle away. That's not just going to happen like that. That's not the way that it works. Did you know that China has a higher diabetes rate than the United States? And at no point would you ever consider them, most people anyway, would not consider them an obese society. It isn't tied to weight. I've said that's a side effect, okay? You can be insulin resistant and thin, as are a lot of Chinese people. So what is this? Okay. Real quick, Tracy put a comment up about her husband, Mike, down 25 pounds off 5 medications, including his statins, Sleeping better also. We feel great. So what is this? I'm talking about the Feel Great system. I do a live stream every single day. I'll do another one tomorrow. And I am right now currently I'm doing this live stream across 8 different social media platforms. Right now, this is live on TikTok, Instagram, MX Cloud, DL Live, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. On all of those platforms, you can find me, at the real, dang it. Let's see, at the real, I'm just typing it into the comment section, at the real Jim BBQ. The reason I put this up here is so that you can give me a follow on all of those major social media platforms, whatever else you're on. If you go over to Twitter, if you go over to YouTube, if you go over to Facebook, the very live stream I'm doing right now is on those platforms, and it will not come down unless I take it down. So you can go in and watch this live stream in its entirety and learn all about the product and all about really ways to just heal naturally. Or you can come back tomorrow and interact with me during the live stream. Either or. If you have any questions, you can also send me a direct message. And Judy, real quick, I want to go to Judy Kovac. I asked a question, and if you answered it, I overlooked the answer. Judy, are you listening still? Are you still in this live stream? Gene Jackson says 2 months in, 13 pounds down, A1C 8, now 7.8, blood pressure normal, no med, lots of other good stuff going on. I feel great. Gene, your coach is Roe, is that correct? 6214, are you on the same time every day? I try to be ish. Judy, user 6214, hit the bell notification on whatever platform you're on. It'll tell you when I'm live. Judy, I asked you a question earlier. Have you, in all of your medical career, 25 years, I believe, give or take, have you ever seen healing like this? Just a yes or no. Have you ever seen healing like this? Amber says, I just joined. I would love to know about the skin tags because I have them. Amber, did you catch what I just said about all my social media platforms, how to watch me live tomorrow, or how to watch this existing live stream right now or later today? Jane Rowe is an incredible coach. Okay, Amber, I'm going to come to you here in just a moment. Do the skin tags go away on their own? No, they go away. Mine went away on their own, Angel. Judy, I asked Judy. So Judy is a nurse. She's been a nurse for, I believe, like 25 years. And I just asked her, has she ever seen healing like this? And that's her answer. That's her answer, guys. She's been on this system for 4 freaking days. 25 years a medical professional. She's been on this system for 4 days. She's never seen healing like this. That is a powerful, powerful, powerful statement. Okay? Charles, 5 to 6 months. Sugar levels are great. Elbows are no longer like sandpaper. Cholesterol is great. 6214. Are you from Colorado? You're not from Colorado, are you? Charles, absolutely, buddy. It will. You'll see that go down. Everything else, Judy says, everything else is putting a Band-Aid on the problem. This gets to the root cause. Judy, I love that. Okay, Amber, coming right back to you. Amber says, what are we talking about? How do I learn more? Right, Amber? You thought I forgot about you, right? I did not forget about you. I am on every, you know what I think, did I know this, 6214? Did I know that you're in Brighton? I'm actually not that far. I'm probably 20 minutes from you. I'm probably 10 miles as the crow flies. Amber, are you on Facebook, Amber? Are you on Twitter? Are you on YouTube, Amber? Are you still here, Amber? That's the better question. Are you still here? Right? I am in Firestone 6214. You know where Firestone is? Dora, Estella, I'm getting there right now. Okay, D. Gonzalez. I'm answering this, and then I'm going to have to wrap this up. Mama Sue, boring, you're babbling about nothing. I'm sorry to have offended you. I'm sorry that somehow people who babble about nothing show up on your For You feed. By the way, your For You feed is, they're putting people in front of you that you're attracted to. So apparently you're attracted to people who babble about nothing. I am sorry that I am one of the people that you are attracted to. What's the subject? Oh, God, listen to that. I mean, they're just wonderful people, right? Angel in the City. Okay, guys, at The Real Jim BBQ, give me a follow. Am I still worried? Give me a follow. With Casey. Casey's a rock star. I just talked to Casey yesterday. He's a good friend of mine. I'm wrapping up anyway. Okay, guys, at The Real Jim BBQ, give me a follow at the, I'm sorry, guys, but I'm getting ready to wrap it up anyway, so that works. At The Real Jim BBQ on every social media platform, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Give me a follow on whichever other ones you're on. You can watch this live stream in its entirety. In this live stream, I talk ad nauseum about reversing insulin resistance. If you have those skin tags, if you have that darkening or discoloration of the skin, that is caused by insulin resistance. This entire live stream is that, okay? I do a live stream every day, so you can rejoin me tomorrow on any of those platforms. I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow. If you do that, you can interact with me. If you want to get to the business right now, you can go and watch this existing live stream on any one of those platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. It's going to hold them up there. It's not going to take them down. So you can go and watch it on one of those and get to the root cause. So with that being said, is there anybody that has any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to start wrapping it up. And it looks like we are at, oh goodness, we're at over 100 new followers on TikTok alone. That is crazy. We're at 18,400 likes on TikTok. Unfortunately, I can't see how many likes we have on Twitter or Twitch or Facebook. But I mean, these are amazing numbers. It's been shared on TikTok more than 24 times. Brenda asks what time. It's usually around 9 o'clock-ish Mountain Standard Time, so 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific, usually around that time. I would hit the bell notification so it tells you when I go live. I would do that, but it's usually around that time. I take my kids to school. It's one of the beauties of this. I get to spend time with my family. With that being said, thank you guys for the likes, the follows, the shares. If you know somebody who could benefit from this information, then do me a favor. Tell them to follow me on one of those other social media platforms and watch the live stream tomorrow. Get them involved. If we can get them involved, they can use, if you're on the system, they can use your referral code. You will get a discount. You can start making this thing considerably cheaper by helping people. How about that? Make it cheaper by helping people. Get them into the live streams with me, and let's get people healthy. That's the biggest thing. Angel, message me. I've got a couple of messages. I see Inra. Leland, I see you guys both. I will respond to those texts. This is a wonderful, you can find Angel in the City. I'm so grateful for this. Thank you. And I want you to look at Tracy's response. Okay. Tracy's response. Tracy came across me. Her husband actually came across me about 3 months ago. Tracy is a nurse. Okay. Our wife, her name is Tracy. And I love this part of the story, Tracy. I'm going to kind of pick on you a little bit. Tracy is a nurse. And when her husband said he was going to order these products because his diabetes was out of control, she looked at him with that nasty little side eye that a wife can give her husband. You don't really think that some Yahoo on TikTok talking about 2 little drinks is going to fix your type 2 diabetes, do you? And he said, I got no other choice. I'm going to try something different. And he decided to order it. And within a week, Tracy, the skeptic nurse, decided to order hers. And now Tracy is in my live stream talking about how wonderful this is. Her husband's diabetes, he's now off of 5 medications, and we're talking about 2.5 months. Guys, the system works. Come back and watch my live stream tomorrow. And Tabitha, I'm assuming you just shared that with Sandra. Thank you very much. Tanya, I know I'm blurry. I don't know what just happened. You know, I'm trying to navigate my way through this. I'm going to try and go live every day on these platforms. Hey, you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for the likes, comments, shares, and follows. Send me a direct message if you have any questions whatsoever. I always respond to them. We'll talk to you.